This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, today is the day that we play Big Dummy, the game show that rewards you for your stunning ignorance. And here's how it works. You call us. We will spin the category wheel. We will spin the Thank you.
You say we a lot.
Ted will spin the category wheel. Is that the difference?
There you go, dude.
If I change that one word?
I don't see your hand on it.
No, it's a good point. I do say we. It is you. Ted will spin the category wheel. Oh, there it is.
You got it now, dog.
Then we'll ask you a question from that category. But here's where Big Dummy separates itself from your average, more reputable game show. We will continue to ask you questions until you get one right, because as always, we want you to leave here smarter than you showed up. Now, so far this year, our biggest dummy has been the lovely and talented Justin, who thought Guy Fawkes was just a good-looking man in his 60s and found a way to answer 8 consecutive questions wrong. Can you do better? Well, of course you can. Everyone else has. So give us a call, and off we go on Big Dummy, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration.
To make a test and play Big Dummy, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You know where your business would be without you. Imagine where it could go with more of you. Well, with Wix, you can create a website with more of your vision, your voice, your expertise. Wix gives you the freedom to truly own your brand and do it on your own with full customization and advanced AI tools that help turn your ideas into reality. Grow your business into your online brand. Because without you, your business is just business as usual. Go to Wix.com.
So away we go. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season, episode number 4,327. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The head chef is back. He's going to keep you from dying today with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. The 10 most dangerous foods in your fridge on the way at 4:30.
Oh, boy.
You got them in there, too.
So this is not like oysters.
No.
Or sprouts or something.
Well, sprouts are always dangerous.
Yep.
You can just take the thrill approach and not eat them. Right? I mean, yeah, like I don't think most people just have random oysters on the half shell sitting in the fridge. They didn't make the list.
Like raw milk or something?
Stuff like that, just stuff you eat every day. Like some of it just builds up
bacteria
and stuff, and it just goes bad quicker.
Cool.
Most of these things are things you know because you probably sniff them.
Okay, that is good to know.
So, like milk's right up there. There's something else that I know. Like, it's just hard to get. No matter the research we do on this product, we all end up eating them all the time.
Okay. All right.
Okay. 10 the most dangerous foods in your fridge. Coming up with the head chef and Ted's Meat and Potatoes on the way at 4:30. And today is the day we play the game known as Big Dummy. It's an easy game to play. We spin the category wheel. You are either playing for Team Sober or Team Not Sober. So far, our biggest dummy of the year has been Justin. Took him 9 to get one right. And as we do when we play Big Dummy, like to do a little men's room poll. Last time was a listener-submitted poll. And the idea, and I still can't find the guy's email, so thanks. I don't remember your name.
Dude.
Thanks, man. What is named after you?
Oh, right.
So your first option was a sex move. Also on the list, a cocktail named after you. A drink. A stadium or venue. And finally, a burger or sandwich. And believe it or not, as far as the poll goes, this one was fairly close. So in fourth place, 19% said stadium or venue. I kind of feel like the corporate world has kind of put a damper on that in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
As far as, like thinking like, well, maybe my name will be on there for like 4 years. And then it'll change to some company that I've never heard of before.
What they do is they move you down to the field, right? Yeah. So it'd either be Miles Montgomery Stadium and then say AT&T wants to get in. Well, now it's AT&T Field at Miles Montgomery Stadium, or it's Miles Field at AT&T Stadium, you see.
Right.
We'll keep you there. You're just not getting top billing anymore.
Okay.
Correct. I think Maryland does that now.
Yeah, what is
There's because it was always Bird, so now it's like it's either Chase or HBCU Field at Bird Stadium.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And some of them just don't. Like, what do the Ravens play at now?
M&T Bank.
It's still M&T?
It's still M&T Bank. They call it the bank, but the truth is, when M&T Bank took over the Ravens Stadium, God, probably late 90s, 2000, somewhere around there, no one in Baltimore had heard of this bank. I mean, nobody. And then we started calling it Miles and Thurl Bank, and we actually got a cease and desist from the Ravens.
We did, yeah.
Well, and Lumen, Lumen just changed their name.
What was it before Lumen? It was
CenturyLink.
Right, but Lumen was still CenturyLink. They just rebranded themselves,
rebranded,
right? Okay.
They rebranded. It was one of those Thursday or Sunday night games, and Russell Wilson, to his credit, company man, just was like, I love playing here at Lumen Field. He dropped it like 3 times. I'm like, what is he talking about?
Mm-hmm. They must have given him some
money.
Well,
sure. Exactly. I mean, look, he say what you want. He was a company man.
Yes.
In third place, with 23% of the vote, Sex Move. You said you would like a sex move named after you. We also determined that there are no sex moves, as far as we know, actually named after a person or the inventor, so to speak.
Right, you might get a profession, reverse cowgirl, but there's no one's name, like Daisy May.
Right.
She made that special.
Exactly. In second place, 24%, you'd rather have a drink named after you than a sex move.
Okay.
So you'd rather have a cocktail.
Yeah, like Tom Collins.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You can always get a drink.
But is Tom Collins the only one?
Arnold Palmer.
That's
John Daly.
Shirley Temple.
Roy Rogers.
What the hell's in a Roy Rogers?
Isn't that a... that's a... I know this one. It's
You didn't know you'd ask.
What about a Rob
it's like
Roy?
a Jack Coke and Cherry, I think.
Okay.
What's a Rob Roy?
I mean, it's a bar in Belltown.
Oh,
Rob
okay.
Roy.
I thought it was a drink.
It is a drink. It's a... it says here, Scotch whiskey, sweet vermouth, and dash of bitters.
Okay.
Damn. Okay.
And number one, as far as what you'd like named after you, that would be the burger sandwich. 35% said if I could do one thing, it would be the burger or the sandwich. So this week, our poll is inspired by a group of hikers. Mm-hmm. Okay? They say plenty of people take psychedelics to enhance their experience while taking in some nature. That includes a couple of hikers who ate some shrooms during a visit to the Adirondack Mountains and ended up having a rough trip that led to them calling 911 to mistakenly report the death of a friend who was not, in fact, deceased. According to the Adirondack Explorer, a couple of people recently made the trek to the Cascade Mountain just outside of Lake Placid in upstate New York, and they took some mushrooms for a hike on May the 24th. However, they ended up having the textbook definition of a bad trip, as they called 911 to unfortunately report the death of a friend who joined them in the Adirondacks before a forest ranger was dispatched to the site where they said the body was. I'm going to go look for the body then. Things took a turn when the ranger arrived on the scene and spoke with the two hikers, who admitted they were lost during a conversation where the official quickly determined they were in an altered mental state, stemming from mushrooms they admitted that they had consumed. Ranger was able to determine the person who was supposedly dead was actually still alive after calling them to confirm that they picked up their phone. They were eventually escorted back to their campsite, while their buddies were taken to an ambulance, where they were also greeted by the New York State Police. It does not appear that the New York State Police arrested them, or
I don't think they're going to bother.
No charges were filed on this little adventure.
You know the conversation went, fellas, come on. Yeah. Come on now. Come down from that high. Your buddy's fine.
Yeah, I mean, as
Do
far
not
as
make us come out here again.
I don't know if it's necessarily a bad trip, but I've had trips that were real intense for,
yeah, for sure,
a few hours where I was just like, wow, this is a lot. I'm going to have to just kind of sit down and try to gather my things, try to figure out what's going on. Then I'll make my move. And typically I made my move like an hour later or an hour and a half later, once I've felt comfortable enough just to be able to function. Now, they do say that things can go wrong when you're on shrooms. And you may have heard that psychedelics are enjoying a recent surge in popularity. Scientists have been using the, is it how do you say that? Psilocybin? Psilocybin. I know. When you read it, you're like, psilocybin. It's the active ingredient in these psychedelic mushrooms. They've been using it to treat addiction, depression, anxiety. But, as they say, not every trip is a pleasant experience. And researchers are interested in figuring out a predictive model for what happens when psychedelics take people to dark places. So it's part of the study. They want to know what happens if you go to that area.
I don't think there's anything predictive. I think it depends solely on the person that has ingested the substance.
Yeah. I think environment matters. I talk to a lot of people that'll be like, I would never do it again. And I can almost to a T look at them and go, did you try them in college in a dorm room with like two buddies or your girlfriend? And they're like, how'd you know? Like, that's a horrible... You get stuck in one dorm room like that, I would freak out.
Now, here is a study you'd want to be a part of. In a recent study, a team of researchers from Johns Hopkins University surveyed about 2,000 people who had challenging psychological experience, a.k.a. bad trips, while on shrooms. Now, the idea was to kind of help assess their safety for therapeutic use. So they did an online questionnaire that sounds a lot like a Yelp review for mushrooms. And the participants described their trips, rated their experiences, and discussed some of the negative psychological and emotional after effects. Here is what they found. They found that even if you have a bad trip, that can be quite good for you. Mm-hmm. They say among the participants studied, 84% say they benefited from the experience of a bad trip, despite reporting varying degrees of psychological distress. Now, they say you are in good company if you think it's the worst. Researchers asked the participants to rate the worst trip against the sum of their life's challenging experiences.
All right.
So about 28% said the trip was among the top 5 most challenging things they've ever been through.
Wow.
And about 11% said it was the hardest thing they've ever endured from a mental standpoint. But they said clearing your head might actually work. So nearly half the participants said that thinking soothing thoughts helped them snap out of a bad trip, or at least mitigate the effects. Changing locations, back to what you were saying about the dorm room, also effective.
Yeah.
They also
I think
recommend
just being in nature helps a ton.
It goes a long way, man.
They also say that booze or more drugs won't help.
No.
So if you're drinking on top of it or you're doing other things, it's kind of hard to nail anything down as far as the one aspect of things. And they say if you're distressed or afraid does not mean that you're going to be paranoid. Paranoia had the weakest correlations to nearly every other factor of a bad trip. So that was a stigma, that psychedelics will make you paranoid or make you tweak out or whatever. They say if you're feeling like you're going to die, that is weirdly a good thing. Contemplating when you'll part from this world and feeling paranoid ranked surprisingly as the lowest correlation among any two factors. Any feelings of death, actually, were correlated to spiritual significance, meaning that grappling with those feelings and considering the most crucial, you have a meaningful spiritual experience, if that's what you believe you are. So being afraid is good, too. So is going a little crazy. Bad trips, they say, are the same for both sexes. And people with psychiatric disorders maybe sometimes have worse experiences. So they did figure all this out from the study.
Just laughing. That'd be real sexist to be like, it's just bad because you're a chick.
Your chicks have bad trips, man.
Yeah, guys are fine.
Okay.
And why are you crying, bro?
What? Where have you guys situationally been where you have been tripping on mushrooms and just as far as the journeys go, where you've been, what you've done?
I've never had a bad trip on mushrooms, man. I've had some bad trips on acid. I've never had a bad trip on mushrooms. In fact, I can be in a good mood, it makes my mood better. I can be in a horrible mood, it makes my mood a good mood. Like when I'm on shrooms, I am perfectly happy, and I want to get into stuff.
Okay.
You know, like it's cool if you're in nature, but I could be in a prison. I'm still like, prison sucks, but I like it a little more.
Our thing was just getting out and walking basically the entire night and going on an adventure. So when I was in my younger 20s, we would do them. We walk the railroad tracks. down along the river, end up in basically wandering around in the dead of night when nothing is going on. It's dead quiet. And
I think that's great.
And you're just exploring everything and going to places that you normally wouldn't go. Let's see what's down here. Let's go down by the river. I mean, hell, we go fishing every once in a while on them.
Sure, man.
Spend the entire night fishing for catfish at a lake, and basically just shooting the S, spending time drinking beer and hanging out, waking up, basically leaving in the morning to go get breakfast because typically you didn't eat all night.
Yeah.
You smoked way too many cigarettes and all those different things. So today on the Men's Room Poll, you are going to do one of these things on mushrooms. So you get to pick what your adventure is going to be. So
choose your own adventure.
The first adventure is you're going to go out for a night of doing karaoke. You will be in a bar. There will be a stage. There will be a microphone. You will get up. You will sing. You will watch the other performances. You're going to be basically doing karaoke for the night.
Even if I'm not tripping, that is very close to the bottom of my list.
Okay.
Ever.
Do you think you would sing better? In other words, do you think that you would find your voice?
No, I think I would sing more confidently. I think I would probably, as Ted does when he gets stoned, a lot of interpretive dance to the lyrics coming out of my mouth because I know it all matter to me, but I do not know that I would be good. I would be comfortable.
Would you find your tone? Would you find your range? Would you figure out
But if you can't sing, it's like liquid courage, right? So you might be scared to talk to chicks and you got 2 shots in and you're going to talk to that beautiful woman at the end of the bar. And maybe your game's even a little better, but you're still ugly, you smell weird, and she's still not interested.
Okay. Have you ever shot pool on mushrooms?
Yes.
Okay. It seems to me that
my best games.
Exactly. For some reason, the focus of what you're doing,
but it's geometry.
I know. I realize that, but I'm talking about it's also darts, anything, whatever you're doing. For some reason, you just get a little better at it.
Laser focus.
I mean,
that's why I like to
what I'm saying
clean
is,
high.
Do you think that you could probably sing better because you're actually focused on the task at hand?
No, I think you would perform better. I think you would dance better. I think people might even be kind of moved by what you're doing on stage, but I think your voice would still be your voice. I think you would, maybe you swing for the fences a little more. Like, I can hit this high note that Robert Plant said. You can't, but you're going to go.
Could you pick up your bass and play something typically that you wouldn't?
Better, yes.
You would play better. I mean, if you recorded it and went back the next day and you listened to it objectively at what you did, we're like, wow, I don't really know what I did there because you're freeforming.
Yes.
What was that?
Absolutely.
And you could replicate that.
Well, Ben, that's the problem, right? I mean, eventually you could replicate it by practicing it, but a lot of times that I have performed from my younger days to some fairly recent days, I have been in an altered state by the time you hit the stage, right? And so in practice, you play it one way, and everyone knows what they're supposed to do, but when you're tripping, man, I can't explain it. It's like the instrument demands that it sings through you. So even though you're still kind of hitting your main parts, there's all this other crap you're doing. A lot of times I can go see a band and know which member might be tripping the hardest.
Okay.
Just if you've seen them enough, you're like, that guitar player just doesn't normally play like that. But they're owning this. They are tripping.
I've seen a bunch of people sing. They were fine at karaoke.
Okay.
And I know they were on shrooms.
You do know.
Oh, for a fact.
Okay. I've never done karaoke in front of a group of people that I did not know. I mean, I might have gone up at Ryan's birthday party one year.
But have you ever done it sober?
But I've never done it like in Renton where there's 100 people that
and
go
you're
every
just up there
night.
singing.
Like there's professional people up there essentially. Okay, choice
Do
number
we count
2.
New Originals as doing karaoke?
No, you're singing. You're actually
No, I mean, you got a whole band, right? Because you got other performers with
But
you.
I'm singing somebody else's song.
Well, it's just
You are. But again, now look, it'd be different.
All right, if we're not counting that, then you're right. I've never sang karaoke sober.
okay. All right.
I've never done it sober, no.
Choice number 2. I'm not privy to this, but I know people who have done it. Mike, I believe you have. The escape room.
Oh, God, yeah. Man.
Okay. Now, what is the? How long does that session last?
Usually about an hour.
An hour.
They put you in for an hour.
Right. They'll put you into a room and you have an hour to quote unquote escape. Again, for those of you that are claustrophobic, don't worry, you can get out at any time. But it's just a puzzle room, and then you solve one puzzle after the next to get you either into the next room.
Is this like a mini Squid Games? Without the threat of dying?
Without the death. Yeah. It's more like you're in a room, like Mike said. They'll tell you, hey, man, you got 60 minutes to solve this escape
Right.
room.
They're brain puzzles. They're not
Right.
They're not like carving out a shape out of a
So,
candy
in
cookie.
theory, you might be really good at this.
Absolutely.
I would
On
say
mushrooms.
if you're tripping, like for me, out of these picks today, tripping on mushrooms, just because I do enjoy mushrooms so much. And I would find an escape room hilarious if I'm tripping on mushrooms. One, just the paranoia of other people. But to your point, Miles, I get the feeling these brain teasers, you would just stand there with your hand on your chin for 2 minutes and be like, got it, fellas.
If you could calm down enough in the escape room because you're supposed to, the thing about the escape room is nothing is as it seems. You know, you need to take pictures off the wall and look behind them and stuff like that. Like, it's that sort of a stuff, like think outside the box.
Okay.
So if you can calm down enough, that might actually help.
I bet you we'd kill it.
I would suck.
Choice number 3, and this is the one I'm kind of leaning toward the most, and I don't know why, but I think strategy would take over. Paintball. All right?
Yeah, there's a possibility.
There are 2 teams. You are in the woods. It's basically, essentially, the way I played it was a capture the flag type scenario.
Right.
They're actually trying to kill me, man.
So you spread apart, they blow the horn, and you spread out. Now, some people guard the fort. I've seen that move because they're guarding the flag. Mm-hmm. Others go on the offensive. So, you know, it's the art of war based on...
If you're tripping on shrooms, do you want to be the defender or do you want to be the attacker? Based on how you think you're tripping... And like you said, I really, again, just in an altered state, strategy suddenly makes more sense.
Correct.
Would you feel more confident?
Yeah.
Like going on the attack or defending the flag?
Well, the things that I liked about it the last time I did it when I was sober was that I was crawling through basically a stream that was covered in rhododendron. So I was army crawling underneath these...
This is authentic paintball you're doing, Miles.
This canopy.
West Virginia, brother.
Where you couldn't see me. So, man, I'm picking people off like crazy. Because they can't see me down there. Who in the hell would drag themselves through a stream? I would, because I'm like, I
am not sober.
I am, well,
so
I might have been a little high, but I'm like,
I would be worried. I would just start freaking out and would just stay in one spot and never move.
We'll call you the sniper.
Yeah.
If I could, but like, I could also, I don't know. Like, I really like both things, but... I don't know. I'd be afraid, just like, oh my God, I don't want to get shot today.
I'm trying to remember what we did. Like, if we all had an armband or some identification, because most people were in Army camo type stuff.
Right.
Okay? Your 4th and final choice on doing one on mushrooms, going to a family reunion.
No.
See, I think I'm picking that.
Really?
Yeah.
I love shrooms. I will always espouse how much I enjoy mushrooms, how happy it makes me. The idea, this is the first time I've thought of tripping on shrooms and being somewhere and really not liking the situation.
Maybe you'll end up hanging out and talking to your cousin for an hour.
I don't want to.
But maybe you would.
I know how that's, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I like my cousins. I want to talk to them.
I like my cousins too, but typically if I'm not sober, it's alcohol. I can't imagine dealing with my family on shrooms.
So our men's room poll.
Oh, look at baby boy tripping on shrooms, thinking nobody don't notice.
Want to play food? No, I don't want to play food.
He ain't eating because he's tripping on mushrooms.
In my family, would be like, you haven't eaten.
If you follow us on X and Men's Room Live, vote now on our Men's Room poll. Do one on mushrooms, karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion. We'll come back and play the game known as Big Dummy next.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Running a business is hard work. Building your website shouldn't be. With Wix, you can express your ideas, give direction, then leave the heavy lifting to AI. From site creation to branded content and images. Have fun with the details. Customize what you want the way you want. And manage your whole business from a centralized dashboard with expert AI tools. Build, scale, and enjoy the incredible results. You can do it all yourself on Wix.
Right now at the new Verizon store in Bellingham, your family could get 4 lines for $25 per line when you bring your phones, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook food delivery every week. Get 4 lines for $25 per line per month on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit the new Bellingham Verizon store at 4303 Meridian Street, Unit 102 to learn more. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with 4 new lines on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Always is live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Yeehaw! Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK. Steve, who is our first contestant, ready to play the big game.
Hello, Tom. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola! Tom, sober or not sober?
I'm sober.
Okay. Tom, you always like to play early, don't you? Just get it out of the way.
I do.
Let's see what we got here for you. Okay, our men's room poll. You're going to do what on mushrooms? Karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
I'd have to say karaoke, probably the best option for me.
Okay, what would you say?
Beatles, maybe some Doors.
So basically bands that were probably on mushrooms.
Yeah, I feel like Doors you could probably pull off tripping on mushrooms. Funny, we got a text here, Tom. You picked karaoke. The text says, the only thing I haven't done while tripping on that list is karaoke. So I've done the other three. All right, Tom, here is your question. 1, 2, 3, or 4. How many U.S. states were once republics?
I'm going to say 1, Texas.
It was California. I'll say 4.
You went 4? Mm-hmm. It is 4. So you have Texas, California, Delaware, of all frickin' places, and Hawaii. Nothing against Delaware, just like, really, that's cute.
And then what's the difference between commonwealths and states? Like Virginia is big on where the Commonwealth, and I think Massachusetts
There's
is Commonwealth.
4 commonwealths in the United States. I do not remember what
Pennsylvania is
they
one,
are.
I believe.
I think Pennsylvania is one. Yeah, Virginia, Pennsylvania. Is there one in New England, maybe? Did you say Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
And Hawaii, maybe? I don't remember. I don't remember what the difference is. It's a subtle difference, but yeah, they're commonwealths, not states, and they like to remind you of that. All right. Your question. What flavor of Flavor Aid was used at Jonestown?
Grape Kool-Aid.
Well, great.
It was great.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
give
great.
it.
Yeah.
It was. Look, man. People always say there's no such thing as bad press. I think Kool-Aid would argue, hey, just so you know, the Jonestown massacre in the 70s, man, that was Flavor Aid. We don't know how this.
Yeah,
got
but you can't say, hey, man, don't drink the flavor.
Flavor Aid. Yes, you can.
Well,
Because
no,
it's based on it. Because everyone goes, hey, man, I don't
'cause
drink
it's
the
not around
Kool-Aid.
anymore.
But Kool-Aid, we had nothing to do with that, man. The Kool-Aid man was like, oh, yeah, you going to die. It was not them. Whatever. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid. Is Flavor Aid gone?
I mean, if it's around, I've never seen it.
It's like RC Cola, right?
Exactly.
It's
It
around.
might exist somewhere.
But yeah, I'm just saying it was not Kool-Aid. It was, in fact, Flavor
I mean,
Aid.
if they drank RC Cola, they'd say, don't drink the Coke.
I don't know. I bet you Coca-Cola will come over the top like, hey, that was Royal Crown Cola.
But you
Do
can't-
not.
I mean, who are you going to sue? It's like what Ted says with Q-tip. It's just the universal,
Right,
word
they're usually
for it.
cotton swabs.
I still say the Xerox machine.
Do you say Xerox?
I do.
machine?
Well, yeah.
I didn't say. My dad worked
Printer,
at Xerox.
Xerox.
I didn't even say that.
Printer.
Yeah, I did for a number of years.
But I mean, Mama Cass didn't choke on a ham sandwich.
Right.
What did she choke on?
I don't know that she choked on anything. I think she just died.
Oh.
Yeah. See, you just start believing stuff because
See,
you
but I
heard it
can't.
for so
But the choking people can't sue because
Right. Oh, I mean, Kool-Aid.
The
There's
ham
nothing to
sandwich
sue.
people.
It's not like Flavor Aid said, "Hey, it was Kool-Aid," so they can't sue Flavor Aid. Somehow the general public said, "No, man, it was Kool-Aid."
I really don't think it matters as much what they consumed as much as the end result.
But
of
it's
it.
not a good attachment.
Well,
That's all. It's like your uncle going to jail on child porn. Like, it wasn't me. They go, right, but he's part of your family, even though it has nothing to do with you. So I feel like Kool-Aid's like, look, man, it's done. Steer clear.
Game is Big W 206-803 round.
Oh, she had a heart attack.
She wasn't eating anything?
You guys don't want to let it go.
No, I'm serious.
I'm dead serious.
She wasn't eating dinner and then had a heart attack.
It's just a heart attack.
Well, I mean, look at Gandolfini.
All right.
I have seen what he ate for dinner that night when he was in Italy, and then he has a heart attack when he's sleeping.
What did he eat? Do you remember roughly? Like standard
It was
pasta?
like shrimp scampi or something. He got a couple orders. He had a couple shots of tequila. I don't know why I remember this.
So he was having a good night.
He
sounds
was.
great.
He was like having dinner with his son. Had a few cocktails. Got a special order. Got a second order of the shrimp. But we say he died of a heart attack. Whereas Mama Cass, unfortunately,
Ham sandwich.
bigger, right? This has been going on for 40 or 50 years, and she died choking on a ham sandwich.
I'm going to look this up.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the bedroom.
What's up, guys?
Hola.
Jesse, are you sober or not sober?
Team sober today.
Okay. All right, Jesse, for our poll, you're doing some shrooms. Where are you doing them? Karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
I think paintball sounds like a blast, so we'll
I
go
do
with
too.
that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Okay. I think your heart would be beating like crazy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might have a great mental strategy, but as far as your physical body is concerned, I think it would be really, really tough to overcome if you had to run from point A to point B.
But I think that's
Or-
the part you'd enjoy. Like, your adrenaline is spiking, but even if your strategy's bad, you were so confident in your strategy. It's more the anticipation of, let me get myself in a
I
position.
cannot explain to you the heart rate level when that horn goes off and you start playing paintball.
Yeah.
Because the fear of the pain that you know is coming when you get shot.
Yeah.
Is it just enough to make you go, oh, God, I'm going to do everything in my power to not get shot?
Yeah. Pain
I-
has a weird way of doing that.
I'm just going with getting worried about getting stuck because I'm shrooming, right? So when I learned to snowboard, I'd been going for weeks on end, right? So I was getting pretty good. And then we were just up at Snoqualmie, and this day I decided, you know what, I'll smoke weed before, not after. And I was just up on this ridge. And I remember the girl I was dating, she's like, what are you doing on that ridge? I was like, I don't know. It's like I forgot how to get down. So just you go ahead. I'll be on this ridge for a while. I'm out of the way.
I don't know how to do this right now.
Yeah, it's just like the fear of just like, oh my God. Hang on. I can remember her looking at me. What are you doing on the ridge? I don't know. I'm scared.
Just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
She's like, we've done this 50 times. I know.
But not
Honey,
hard.
I'm scared. Can I stop yelling? I'm scared.
Yeah, right. All right, Jesse, here's your question. What kind of knot are neckties traditionally tied into?
Oh, gosh.
The house of.
I'm just going to go with the first thing that comes to mind. It's probably not right, but Windsor knot?
That's right, one and done. What's the difference between that and a half Windsor?
You're only half done?
Well, there's
I don't
double
know.
Windsor.
Right, it's how you tie it. It's about how involved you are with the tie.
I only know how to do one way.
Yeah, as far as my
the only
necktie
way I
goes.
know how to do it.
Probably the half Windsor. A lot of people
all right.
learn the half Windsor.
You said traditionally that's
Yeah,
the
that's
half
the
one?
shortest way to go, but you just throw it together, basically. You're basically just throwing together the diamond on the tie.
Did anybody have that panic as a child when you tried to put on your first tie and dad's not home?
Yes.
I had to go across the street.
Yeah, because you have no
My mom
concept
had,
how to
right.
do
My
it.
mom had no
I had
idea.
a clip on.
Well, I
But
had a
yeah,
clip
once you
on.
go from clip on to tie, man.
I had a
it's
clip on in grade school, but like when I got to high school, they were like, "You got to wear real ties."
like, uh-oh.
And it was like panicked.
Oh, yeah, that's a horrible moment. Hey,
I
Jesse,
cannot believe I got that right.
well, but now you know. Well,
Jesse,
probably
you sound
the
like a
half-
guy. You're probably in a suit right now. You crazy SOB.
All right, Jesse, for your one and done question, here is a true or false question for you. True or false? The longest running live action sitcom is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania. It's rainy and crappy.
That I know as true.
How did you know that?
I saw something about it, a couple seasons ago, and they're still going. So, yeah, they hit that record a couple seasons ago, but they're still going strong.
Damn. That's not the show I would have predicted.
So was that 15 years?
17 as of right now, I believe. Yeah.
Game is Big Dummy 206-803 Rock.
Hello, Roberto. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Roberto, sober, not sober.
Sober. I'm driving to a gig.
What kind of gig you got?
I am Roberto the Magnificent, the unicycle.
Oh, yeah.
Roberto, how are you, man?
Hey,
Yeah, after we talked to you last time, we got a ton of texts.
Yeah, where's your gig at? What will you be performing and for what audience?
I'm heading down to California for the San Mateo County Fair. So I'm doing a 10-day contract for them. And last week I did a Oklahoma City Thunder halftime, which was cool. And a couple weeks ago did I know, right? Boo.
Well.
And the Pacers. But, yeah, so just keep them busy.
That's cool.
Knocking out some gigs.
Well, it sucks to watch Oklahoma City play because they're good.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Roberto, you're doing shrooms. What are you doing? Karaoke, escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
I'm going paintball. I'd be like the Liberty Cap Rambo.
Okay.
All right, Roberto, here is your question. What are Easter Island's famous statues called? There's a collective name.
The Pieces of Eight.
The Pieces of It. Not a bag. Are you a Styx fan?
Of course.
Okay. That is
Mr. Roboto.
I think it's called the Heads.
the Moai. M-O-A-M-O-A-I. Moai. Roberto, your question. In what capital city would you find the Marley Museum?
Marley Museum, like the Marley, Bob Marley?
Yeah. Bob, not the dog. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. I would say New York.
It's Ted's favorite thing to say.
Kingston,
yes.
right next to the beach.
Roberto, what are the three branches of the U.S. federal government?
Judicial, executive, and legislative.
Boom. Well done,
Nice
Si.
job. Enjoy California. Yes.
What?
He said legislative.
Oh, did he say legislative?
I mean, close enough.
Well,
I guess.
just pretend it's a Fat Albert character.
You know, legislative.
The legislative.
Here's Big Dummy, 206-803 Rock.
Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Cody, sober or not sober?
I'm sober. I'm driving home with the dog to pop open Jack Daniels once I get home.
Okay. You and your dog just travel a lot together?
We went to go paint a house together.
Does he tape? What does he do?
What's the dog doing when you're painting?
Just sits there and chews on a bone. Figured bring her with me.
All right.
Okay. All right.
That's easy.
Okay, you're going to do one on shrooms. Is it karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
I'll do paintball. Leroy Jenkins it.
Okay, all right. We have a strategy. You ignore it.
Pop, 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 pop.
Damn it, Leroy.
Damn, Leroy. All right, Cody, here is your question. The traditional chef's hat has 100 pleats, which symbolizes the 100 ways to cook what?
Chicken?
Pre-chicken, an egg.
Pre-chicken, the egg. You are correct. I do not know what the 100 different... I mean, you can poach, you can scramble, you can fry, you can bake.
Over easy, sunny side up.
Quiche.
Yeah.
Omelet.
Right.
Frittata.
Okay, Bubba.
Okay. All right, we're tracking.
I can keep going.
You only have about 88 more to go.
Deviled eggs.
There you go.
Egg salad.
Egg salad.
I mean, that's the incredible edible egg.
Starting to sound like Bubba.
That's what he just said. I was like, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm just trying to think it out loud here.
All right, your question. What detective dies at the end of the short story, The Final Problem?
The final problem?
Yep.
Um,
Who's the first famous detective that comes to mind?
I'm only thinking of Pulp Fiction, so I'm just going to say Samuel Jackson.
Sherlock Holmes.
Or Sherlock Holmes?
Detective Samuel L.
Jackson. I'm here investigating a mother effing murder.
I figured this mother effer out.
Holmes. Yeah, Detective Holmes.
Detective Holmes, man. He's after us.
Who? Holmes.
He's got the pipe, man.
Is Watson still alive even though Holmes died?
You know, I don't know.
I think so. I think
All
he's
right.
the one telling the story.
That would make
I might be
sense.
wrong.
Yes.
Oh, you know that.
now he
now
knows.
you know Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes.
Samuel
All right.
Jackson's the
Because I know
detective.
from the, who's in it? Iron Man. He's in the Sherlock movies.
What's his face? Robert Downey Jr.
RDJ,
Yeah, I saw the second one, and he's surprised Watson's describing it.
Aha. Okay.
The only reason why I know that now.
Thank you, Robert Downey Jr., a.k.a. Iron Man. Yeah. Soon to be Dr. Doom. All right, your question. What, you don't like that pick?
No.
Why?
I hope they bring it around. I really do. You can't have the same guy in the same doggone universe. I'm sorry, you just can't.
But he's running mad.
You just can't, man. It's like having Harrison Ford play somebody else in Star Wars later on in the movie. It doesn't work.
I can't argue that. All right, your question. What is converted into alcohol during brewing?
Barley, wheat?
Yeast.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yes.
Oh.
When the yeast farts, your beer's ready.
Question 4.
Question number 4. Dorsal fins are on the backs of whales. What's the name of the fins on the underside? My D fin.
Dorsal. Dorsal? I don't know.
Ventral. We just don't talk about them as much because we don't see them as much. That's simple.
The dorsal fin really brought to prominence because of Jaws.
I mean,
Sharks out there with the doggone dorsal
I think
fin.
it depends on your age, but certainly for my age group, absolutely.
Right, before that, did anybody actually know it was called the dorsal fin?
We didn't care about sharks.
Right.
Like, maybe your buddy had a fish aquarium, but because they were completely submerged, they just had fins. And then, right, you watch Jaws, and dorsal fin got permanently embedded in my mind. All right. Your question.
And he's gone.
Are you still here?
No, I'm here.
I thought I heard the phone dog.
Damn, Ted trying to chase Cody off. I don't know what you did to Ted, Cody, but man.
He's just gone.
All right, your question. What?
I was just going to ask him if he's seen the new Chris Stapleton song for the F1 soundtrack.
I have. Actually, the Dom Dollar song on there is pretty good too.
I'd say it's a good song.
It is.
All right, Cody, your question. What are the dots on dice and dominoes called?
Dots and dice and dominoes.
I can give you a hint. Gladys Knight's backup band.
Oh.
Gladys Knight's backup band. I'm just going to guess the dots.
Dots.
Nah, Pips.
Pips.
Okay.
All right, Cody, hang on the line for us.
We'll come back with question number 6 and more of Big Dummy coming up next.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's the difference between DIY and doing it yourself? It's the difference between a part-time passion and a full-time business. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker. With a website that fits your unique vision, let your ideas flow with AI that guides you, but keeps you in the driver's seat. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Go to Wix.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Running a business is hard work. Building your website shouldn't be. With Wix, you can express your ideas, give direction, then leave the heavy lifting to AI. From site creation to branded content and images. Have fun with the details. Customize what you want the way you want. And manage your whole business from a centralized dashboard with expert AI tools. Build, scale, and enjoy the incredible results. You can do it all yourself on Wix.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803 Rock. We still have Cody on the line playing for Team Sober. Cody, you are now on question 6.
All right, Cody.
Come on, Cody.
Here is question number 6 for you. How many movies did Ben Affleck portray Batman?
Three?
I'll go 4.
I would accept 4 or 5 because technically he was in Justice League, which would have been 4.
Right, because I was trying to count
But
those. He never did a solo Batman movie. He did the Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He did the Justice League. He showed up in
Justice League. And there's one other movie
Wonder
I can't
Woman.
remember, but he showed up somewhere. But then the reason they gave him a 5th is because there was Justice League and then the Daniel Snyder cut.
The Jack.
Daniel Snyder? Not Dan Snyder. Jesus Christ.
The old owner of the Commanders?
What's the guy's name?
Jack Snyder, right? No, hang on.
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
The director's cut, but they consider two entirely different movies. Which really they are. So, yeah, he's been in 4 or 5, depending how you want to put it.
It is the...
Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder. That's the guy's name, right? All right.
Yep, Zack Snyder. Sorry, guys.
All right. Here's your question. An infectious particle that can only reproduce inside of a living cell is called a what? An infectious particle that can only reproduce inside of a living cell.
Cancer?
I was saying fungus. Is it a parasite?
Virus.
Yeah.
Question 8. Keeping in mind the biggest dummy is Justin with 9.
Ooh. Your question. What is the only bonus item that dances around the maze that Ms. Pac-Man can eat that is not a type of fruit? It is a food. Very popular in Pennsylvania.
Yes, it is. It's on the blue screen.
That's not a fruit?
It's not a fruit, but it is a food.
It's a $1,000 one.
Candy bar?
Pretzel.
A pretzel.
Okay, you officially have tied Justin with 9 there, Cody.
All right.
So if you don't get it, man, you get to question 10. You're done.
Yeah.
Don't sound
Not my
too
best
excited. All right,
Not
Cody.
my best day.
Here is your question. Approximately how many minutes does it take sunlight to reach the Earth?
7.
Uh-oh. That's the end of it. There's 10.
Yeah.
Cody's out.
That was 10?
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
That's it.
Congratulations. Hold on. Put
Cody,
it on the
you're
notes.
now our biggest
Cody.
dummy. It's question 10. Cody is plus 10. Justin is out as our biggest dummy.
All right.
Congratulations.
There you go. Didn't expect that to happen today.
That's something that you can tell your friends and your relatives
I
about.
wish we had a plaque to send someone at the end of the year. You're the biggest dummy we talked to all year.
We should.
We really should. Like, hey, man, you've earned this.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Oh, thank God he got to 10.
Hola.
Justin, are you sober or not sober?
Sober, just finishing up my day at work before vacation.
All right. Where are you headed on vacay?
Taking the kids to the Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, you really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Did you
very
email
good.
us yesterday?
What was that?
Did you email us yesterday about this birthday?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's you. All right.
Okay,
How
fine.
many days you plan on spending at the Great Wolf Lodge?
So we're going down Friday morning and coming back Sunday afternoon.
All right.
My wife gave it glowing reviews when she got back. Very
Justin,
happy.
you're going to do one on mushrooms on our men's room poll. Are you doing karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
Let's see here. I am definitely, let's see here. I've been around my family on mushrooms, not doing that again. So let's go ahead and do paintball.
Paintball.
What happened when you were on mushrooms around your family?
Let's see here. I was at my buddy's house. I took them and didn't feel anything. So I was like, okay, let's go home. Went home, sat on the couch, started to relax. Chai in essence plus Capenzi's equal really, really fun time. And we started talking about college, and I totally spaced out.
Okay.
I think you combined them.
Well, yeah, because you got to get the mental and the body, so you get the full-on experience.
I like where you're coming from, Justin. All right, here's your question. What fashion designer did Rachel work for on season 5 of the TV show Friends?
Oh my! Let's see. My sister watched that freaking show. I don't know, Prada.
Ralph Lauren.
Oh, I said Tommy Hilfiger.
I'm kind of happy I didn't know that.
I know deep down you're like, cool. All right, here's your capital. I'm sorry, here's your question. What is the capital of Northern Ireland?
Of Northern Ireland?
Northern Ireland.
Let's see. Is that Dublin?
Is that Belfast?
Belfast.
Yeah. What up, Ron?
Who's your buddy that lives in Belfast?
Ron.
Ron.
Actually, we were off last week. I saw another buddy of his that was in town.
Yeah?
An Irishman. Yeah, sure. We hung out, showed him the studio and everything.
All right, very nice. All right, your question. In the movie Jurassic Park, The park is located on an island off the coast of what country?
Oh, my God. Oh, see, now I got to remember all this.
Rich dude's all excited to explain. He says, I'm leasing an island off the coast of...
Oh, my gosh. I am going to... Oh, my gosh. This is going to kill me.
It's in the Western Hemisphere.
Western Hemisphere. I can't remember, man.
Costa Rica?
Yep.
Yep.
Or as he says, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
For some reason, I thought it was with a freaking P.
With a P. Costa Rica.
Hey, man, you want to go down to Costa Rica?
You know what? I would have accepted that if he said it. Like, close enough. My man's going to Costa Rica.
Actually, Post Malone is their president now.
Yeah, Costa Rica. Yep. I'm going to start saying Costa Rica. See how many times I can say it before someone finally corrects me.
You ever been to the island of Costa Rica?
Costa Rica? Yeah, my God.
Costa Rica.
If freaking Post Malone bought an island, if you named that, I could go there in a heartbeat.
I would too.
I mean, look, if he just
cigarettes, beer, and drugs.
Yeah, if he was like, I'm playing a big show, it's now Costa Rica. He would sell it out.
Yeah, and
just for the losers, though.
All right, your question: what is the capital of South Carolina?
Oh my God!
I know.
And geography. What a wonderful, wonderful thing.
The problem with South Carolina is everybody pretty much knows one town, and it's not that.
It's not that?
No, I guess there's your hint. So name another town in South Carolina that's not Charleston.
It also starts with the letter C.
Right. Mm-hmm. We should know it here in Washington State.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, good old Chimico.
That was amazing, Justin.
So close.
Columbia.
Chimicum, South Carolina.
Chelan.
Dude, Columbia's a fun town.
Is that where your niece is? Or
she's a cop in Charleston, but when I was in high school, my dad lived in Columbia for like 3 years. That's where the university is.
Right. Right.
Go to the Hall of Fame at the University of South Carolina. It is a shrine to Hootie.
Yeah. Shrine to Hootie.
That's where they all met.
The Hootie Shrine. If you said find that in a woman's body, you know where I'd look first.
It's also the town where that awful racist barbecue spot is. Maurice's. It's delicious.
But it's delicious barbecue.
Yes.
Like forgivable racism. All right, listen. If you make food this big, good.
I told you, we were so uncomfortable, and I was like, there's a black couple next to us. It's fine.
Even they know.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's an a-hole, but God damn, this barbecue's good. It's sad but true.
I think, the last I read, I think they've taken down all the pictures of Maurice in his, and I'm not kidding, Klan stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good PR move.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this guy was no joke. I mean, like, he hated black people, and black people hated him. But black people really like his barbecue.
That's right. So when me and my brother were going there, we felt so guilty.
It's like having sex with a racist.
It is. Like, in this moment, it's forgiven. All right. Your question, since you do so well at geography, what is the capital of Portugal?
The man.
Oh. I actually think you guys have asked me this before.
And what did you answer?
Well, I answered Lisbon.
What was it?
Lisbon.
You got it.
Boom.
Nice job.
There we go.
Thought Justin was going to be back to being the biggest dummy.
It looked like we were tracking that way.
Christ. Game is Big Dummy, 206-803 Rock.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Chris, are you sober or not sober?
Got home, already hit the bong, but not so.
Nice
I
work.
respect that.
Nice work.
How long were you home before the bong was on your lips?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
All right.
Had to poop
Took me
first.
3 minutes to wrangle the dog and get him on his leash outside. Then boom!
Okay. All right, Chris, our men's room poll, you're going to do one on mushrooms. Is it karaoke, a escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
God, I'm such a bad psychedelic taker, and I hate the public when I do it. So let's go escape room, because I'll want nothing else than to be out of there.
Okay.
All right, here is your question. Multiple choice. What country would you have to visit to see the ruins of Troy? Egypt, Italy, Greece, or Turkey?
Greece.
That's what I thought.
Turkey.
What is Turkey?
Yeah.
Did you actually know that?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm like, it's got to be Greece or Italy or Turkey.
Yeah.
Turkish Trojans.
Well, there's so many empires that are right there.
Well, that's the thing. Like Greece and Italy, you're safe, and you're right. Turkey, obviously. Because with Egypt, it just seems to be like the Egyptian Empire, and that's it.
I also have 1-800 Empire there.
Oh, that's great. When did
They have all the empires.
That's how it started. This is Augustus. What can I do you for?
1-800.
8500. All right, your question. What number does the letter V with a bar over it represent in Roman numerals? The letter V with a bar over it.
50?
Not a bad guess.
500?
5,000. 5,000.
I don't speak letter.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I think you mostly do speak letters since most of the words are made of letters.
He doesn't count letters.
Yeah. I don't do math with letters, but I definitely speak letter.
I think what he's trying to say is we didn't come here to play school.
Yeah. Was I alone? Like, you don't know what algebra is going to be. You know what I mean? Like, you're just taking a math class at school. They tell you, hey, next year you're going to take algebra. You're like, cool, I'm moving up in the world. And you get to algebra, and all these letters show up, and immediately I'm like, I am lost. It does not matter what you tell me. If it is not numbers, it is not math to me.
Yeah. I took algebra for 2 years.
I did too. And they were both Algebra 1. I hated it.
Our freshman year, we called it Algebra 1, Part 1.
Oh, really?
But I got to I got to geometry. I'm like, I can figure this out.
Geometry made
I figured
sense
that
to
out.
me.
Yeah.
I like
I got the calculus. I swear if I'm the biggest dummy around this whole thing. Oh.
You liked calculus?
No, I was born with my dad's brain, I guess. I hate that.
Yeah, my brother took calculus as an elective. He's explained, man, high school you get electives. He did very well. He had 3 electives. One of them was calculus. One was trigonometry. I can't remember the other one, but I'm just looking at him like, are you effing kidding me? Because you also said there's something like ping pong. You know what I mean? Like some crap. And he's like, no, man, trigonometry. Like, why?
I'm kind of with him. I liked algebra. It made sense. It was all black and white, man.
It did not make sense to me. And then I hated it because the kids started taking it. And I'm like, this crap again.
Just variables.
Ask your mother. I can't help you. All right. Here's your question. How many hockey players are on the ice per team?
5.
You forgot the goalie.
Come on, man, the goaltender.
Damn it.
Granted, there are some teams that play with 5 most of the time.
Yeah.
But in theory, yes, there should be 6.
Question 4.
Question 4. Did you guys have to do proofs in geometry? Yeah. I mean, it was part of geometry. I don't remember them entirely, but I remember them from geometry. You just stick with your algebra, man.
Oh, I will do it. I'll sit over here.
All right, your question. Who plays Adam Sandler's boss in the 2006 film Click?
Oh, gosh.
National hero.
That's right.
For 2 countries.
It is nobody that you would normally think of to play a boss.
Nor is
Sean
it
Connery?
Oh, he would be a boss.
David Hasselhoff.
The Hop, baby.
Oh.
I've only known him as the boss. He was the lieutenant on Baywatch, dude. He was in charge.
That is a good point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, Chris, your question. Feta cheese is typically made from the milk of what animal?
Goat.
Goat.
No,
It's
sheep.
not.
Sheep.
Damn it.
No, yeah, I know.
All this time.
Question 6. Here we go again. What's going on today?
They got some dry-ass milk.
I love feta cheese.
I like feta, man. You don't like feta?
It's fine. It's not my top 10 cheese.
No, the way you said fine says you don't like it.
Oh, I'm a thrill. Feta belongs on almost everything.
If it's not there, I'm not upset.
If I think it should be there and it's not there, I'm upset. Like if I get a gyro, right? I love gyros. I know there's going to be feta, but I still check to see how much feta did you add.
A little goes a long way with me.
I want all the feta you got, man.
Yeah, put it on pizza. I don't care.
Yeah. Actually, a friend of mine who's in town recently from Mexico. So her husband had lived here, all right, specifically in the Seattle area. She was up here for an art show, and Folk Life Festival or something was going on this weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So they went downtown. He's showing her around, and they're like, yeah, man, we went to a Folk Life Festival. And he's like, I haven't had one since I've been back in Mexico, man, but I got a gyro. And so his wife was unfamiliar with it, but I loved her taste. She's like, it was good. You know, it's a great taco. I said, you're absolutely right.
It's
You're
fantastic.
absolutely correct.
All right. Folk Life and all the stands are open. That's a good Saturday or Sunday to go munch on some food.
Yeah, they did plenty of that. All right, your question. Frank Sinatra, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, a.k.a. Al, and Taylor Swift have all won 3 Grammys for what category? Artist, album, record, or song of the year? So Frank Sinatra, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, and Taylor Swift.
Gosh.
Aren't album and record the same thing?
They're not, man.
No
I thought
kidding?
the same thing. Right. There's 2
Albums,
different
the
criteria.
record just means like basically single of the year.
Okay.
Right, so you can have the record of the year without the album of the year.
Right.
The album of the year, you have a better body of work. Record of the year, you have the best solo song.
Right, and then I'll be nitpicky here. And then if it's single, it's also song.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, man.
You would think.
Album.
Got it.
Yeah, got it, man.
Nice work, nice
Yeah, that is weird how they do that. So album and record are different, but you're right. If record is just
Because
a
you get
song,
EPs
then
and
what's the difference
LPs.
between the song? So now the bigger question, what's the difference between the song of the year and the record of the year?
Right.
I'm out.
More of Big Dummy coming up 206-803-ROCKS.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
So you've got a business, but what about a brand? The difference? More of you. Wix gives you the freedom to create your website, own your brand, and do it on your own, exactly how you envisioned it. Experience limitless customization. Boost your creativity and efficiency with AI tools for every part of your business journey. Scale up with built-in SEO, e-com, and scheduling features. Put more of you in your business. Go to Wix.com and do it all yourself.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Danger. Head chef cut up 10 meat and potatoes. The 10 most dangerous foods in your fridge. That's coming up at 4:30 right after the game known as Big Dummy. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the men's room.
You and your girl and your Johnson. Oh, yeah.
Hola.
Jeffrey,
Girl in your Johnson.
you sober or not sober?
Team's sober right now. I'm busy driving.
All right. Okay, Jeff, our men's room poll. All about doing mushrooms. You will do what on mushrooms? Will it be karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
Oh, man. Sounds really intense. It's doing really good today. I'm going to have to go with paintball. As long as I don't get hit in the Adam's apple again, we'll be good.
I've been hitting the Adam's apple before as well, man. It's not good. Bugs on scooters, paintballs. You know it when you hit it because you're like,
Jeff,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have one of those big Adam's apples that you can't miss? Or you just got unlucky and got hit
like
there?
Rick Ocasek size?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure you can tell by how pitched my voice is. I definitely have to look up very high in the sky for anybody to notice my Adam's apple.
Bet
No.
they'll shoot you in it. All right. Oh, hey, by the way, Ted, Mike, we got some clarity on Song of the Year versus Record of the Year, thanks to our text line. So the Song of the Year is given to the songwriter. And for the record of the might be a band for record of the year, but the songwriter will get song of the year.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Texter.
in other words, if CeeLo won for
FU,
Bruno
Mars
Mars wins the
he will win song of the year.
Okay.
But if he wins record of the year, then CeeLo with his teeny tiny arms can go up and try to lift up the little statue.
Okay.
Be like a T-Rex trying to hold a peanut. All right, Jeff. Here's your question.
All right.
Like, I think years ago, I'm walking down Second Ave, and this brother just goes, "Man, you out here looking like a white CeeLo."
White CeeLo.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man. All right, Jeff, here's your question. Who was the first NFL coach to receive a Gatorade shower after winning a game?
High in protein.
Mm-hmm.
His nickname.
And omega-3s, I believe.
Yeah.
High in protein, omega-3.
That was his nickname.
That's his famous coach's nickname.
Johnson.
So are you looking for the name of the coach or the nickname?
The name. I'll take either one.
Okay, so his nickname was Big Tuna. Probably still is.
Still alive. That never seemed happy.
Yeah.
No. But,
But also Big Tona.
So that definitely rules out John Madden.
he was Big Tofurkey.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's 83.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of any others. Mike Ditka.
It's actually not a bad guess in the scheme of things, but Bill Parcells.
Oh, okay.
That's
Did
a
he
risky.
coach the Patriots?
For a second, Giants, Dolphins, and Patriots.
And Cowboys.
Okay.
And Cowboys. God, yeah, I forgot about that. All right. Your question, whose crime was witnessed only by Cindy Lou?
All right. I definitely know that one. Party on, guys. That's the Grinch.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, indeed. What band does she sing for now? The girl that played
It's,
Cindy Lou in the live-action movie.
Pretty
with Jim
Reckless.
Carrey. Pretty Reckless, right.
Yep, Taylor Monson.
Thank you. Yes, that's her name.
Game is Big W 206-803 round.
Yes, it is, Ted.
James.
James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola, fellas.
Hola.
James, team sober today?
For about the next 10 minutes, yeah.
Okay. All right, James, good for you. Okay, our men's room poll, James, you're going to do what on mushrooms? Will it be karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
Definitely paintballing.
Man, people are paintballing on shrooms today.
I like the idea, man. They said, look, man, it's an all-shroom paintball competition. Like, I'm in. I am in. All right, James, here's your question. We know that Michael Jackson had a chimpanzee named Bubbles, who apparently is living quite the life right now. But what late singer had a chimpanzee named Scatter?
Tom Petty?
Is it somebody we know?
Absolutely.
Are they a weirdo?
They own a chimpanzee, so yes, but their public persona was not that they were
Is
weird.
it country?
In my mind, yes, but that's not what they were known for. They were known
Elvis?
Elvis. Yes, indeed. Elvis Presley. I got a chimp. His name's Scatter.
Like I got a monkey.
Was he the original?
Don't eat that banana.
The original, what's his name? Nicolas Cage. They kind of talk the same. Every time I see an interview. Elvis.
Well, ironically,
Oh, it's
enough,
a little bit sweaty.
he played Elvis, Elvis's ghost in.
Oh, yeah. What was the movie, man? I don't know if you can pick any better.
Right.
All right. A woman by the name of Gabrielle Suzanne Villanueva. She wrote which fairy tale? Cinderella, Into the Woods, Maleficent, or Beauty and the Beast?
Honeymoon in Vegas.
Yes.
Beauty and the Beast.
Got it. Damn.
Because back then, it was all dudes writing fairy tales. It was like 1790 or something she wrote this. So no one even wanted to look at the script because like, you're lady folk, and it's a love story. And it's still around all these years later.
Game is Big Dummy 206-803 round.
Her husband must have been pumped.
Wait a minute, baby. Is he modeled after? I
Yeah.
think you're a very nice guy. You're just unsightly.
You're a beast.
Guess who it is again, Ted?
James?
James, welcome to the men's room.
James, are you sober or not sober?
Not sober.
Okay, not sober James. All right, James, do what on mushrooms? Will it be karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
I think the escape room sounds pretty fun.
All right, escape room it is.
Right there with you, man. You ever done an escape room?
I have one time.
And how did you do? Did you beat the timer?
We missed it by a couple minutes. We were down to the last couple clues and missed out.
My wife and I did it with another couple. We got out in like 45 minutes, and then I did it 2 other times, both times with my kids. Did not get out in time. What does one know?
Yeah, right. And on shrooms, it'd probably be fun.
It would be awesome. In fact, I might have to do that. All right, your question. In what decade did the Panama Canal open? In what decade?
40s?
60s.
I'm a James. I guess the 40s. The 1910s.
Damn.
It opened in 1914.
All right.
That was much earlier than I thought. And since we're going back in time, in 1864, General Sherman ordered the burning of what city?
Oof.
Panama?
He burned a few of them, but I would guess Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yes, it
That was the biggest one.
That's why they call it Hot Atlanta. All right, your question.
Big Sherman guy.
What were the names of Roseanne's 3 kids on the TV show Roseanne?
Carl, Ronnie, and Miles.
Carl, Ronnie, and Miles. So close. Darlene, Becky, and TJ.
Makes sense.
You ever met a Darlene?
No.
Yes.
I haven't either.
Yeah. That was my my parents' old real estate agent. That was Darlene.
I'm racking my brain. I don't know that I've actually met a Darlene.
I don't think I have. Like, I know the name. I've just never met a Darlene.
It sounds like the name of a woman you meet in a small town bar. She's never left.
And you will have sex with her if you want to.
Darlene does not touch the cigarette. It just stays in her mouth.
I don't really smoke them. I just like them and leave it on my lip.
It bounces.
Yeah. She wants to hear stories of the big city.
Darlene. She's always been 75 years old.
Another water. That's what I call my Coors Light.
Yeah. All right, your question. What beer billed itself, quote, the coldest tasting beer in the world?
Coors.
A little more specific.
Coors Light.
Okay.
Damn right.
Yes, indeed.
It's really not, though.
What beer
What, not the
tastes cold? They don't say it's the coldest.
All right.
Their slogan
Taste cold?
to avoid a lawsuit. They say, "Hey, it's the coldest tasting beer in the world." So even if you get a warm one,
anything, water, soda,
but that would be the
coldest
tasting
ginger
one.
ale in the world.
Coldest tasting.
Tasting.
They're not
I would
saying it's
say-
the coldest beer.
I would say Sprite's the coldest tasting soda.
It's not a bad call.
It's
And
crisp.
I agree. Because even if it's warm, just with that bite with the carbonation, you're right.
And some stupid things work. I don't know why. If somebody goes, "You want a Coors Light?" and then before you can answer, they go, "Mountains are blue." It's like, "Give me one." Damn right.
But
they
you
are.
do say that because they're going to ask. We've
Yeah.
all learned, hey man, no, the mountains are blue, because they beat it in our heads like it's not ready yet.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803 Rock.
Mountain Blue mean cold.
I don't want undercooked potatoes. I don't want red mountains on my Coors Light can. Come on, man. Hello, Ian. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. Ian, are you sober or not sober?
Sober today.
All right, Ian, welcome to Big Dummy.
Hey.
Okay. Do what on
Seems
mushrooms?
shocked that he's sober today.
No, somebody just sent in a text that says, Darlene rolls her own tampons.
Jesus.
With napkins.
Okay, Ian, you're going to do what on mushrooms on our men's room poll? Karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
It's a joint.
We're going to have to do paintball. That would be a whole new experience.
All right, paintball it is.
Done a lot of it sober, so it'd be different. Tripping.
Yes, it would definitely be different if you're tripping on shrooms. Do you think you would do better or worse?
After I stopped freaking out, I used to play in nothing but shorts and my gun and a shield. So, yeah, it would be exciting.
I would agree with that. All right. Here's your question, Ian. On what continent would you find the country of Guyana?
South America.
I'll say, is that right? One and done. Nice job.
Hold on, before we let you go, a true or false question for you. True or false, the British pound is the oldest currency that is still in use.
We're going to go false.
That's true. Yeah, so for the last 1,200 years, the British pound, that has been the currency. It has not changed at all.
Big Dummy!
Speaking Guyana, isn't that where Jim Jones gave out the Great Flavor Aid? Was that not the country? I believe that it is.
Maybe.
Yeah. Back to the Kool-Aid Flavor Aid. I think Guyana is the country that Jim Jones...
Yes, settled in Guyana.
What a great legacy.
Yeah, they want to be done with that.
Yes.
And it's why Americans aren't allowed.
You guys do weird things.
You guys really got strange last time we let you in.
Hello, Rochelle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Rochelle, are you sober or not sober?
Sober.
Sober. Rochelle, welcome to Big Dummy. All right, what are you doing on mushrooms? Karaoke, an escape room, paintball, or a family reunion?
Paintball.
Ah,
Paintball.
Paintball's
Are
killing
you a
us.
paintball fan?
I have not actually played, but I will be next month, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, you're playing. What's the occasion that you're playing next month?
I play for the Granite Falls women's football team, and we're going to do that as our end of the season.
Oh,
party.
nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys
You play
playing
for the Granite Falls football. How many teams are in your league?
There are only four, so it's Granite Falls, Stanwood, Skagit, and Lake Stevens.
What's
I
your
would not mess with a woman from any of those places.
what's your guys' nickname? Grand Falls what?
No, the Tigers.
The Tigers.
Oh,
Okay.
the
And is this flag football, correct?
The tackle.
It's tackle.
All right.
All right, what position do you play, Rochelle?
I am fullback, and I also play strong safety.
Wow.
You like hitting people.
Damn.
That's what I'm
Okay.
getting out of you. All right.
We got a game this weekend at Granite Falls High School against Stanwood.
Who are you playing? What Stanwood what? So we got the Granite Falls Tigers taking on the
Stanwood Spartans.
Okay. I have to ask,
like the high school.
because I don't understand
But it's
this.
women.
So Rochelle, you need to put on a uniform. All right. Do you got to buy the helmet?
We fundraise for the helmets. So we're actually a nonprofit. So all the money we raise selling tickets to our games, it goes to support youth sports in
nice.
one of our cities. So yeah, we fundraise and got enough money for
I
the
just gotta
helmets.
ask.
Now, do you guys, is this organized with the other three teams, or is each team responsible for their own fundraising?
Each team is responsible for their own fundraising.
How much does a helmet cost?
Gosh, like $300 maybe.
Yeah, that's about
I
right.
figured it's not cheap.
Why do they call it Frackle football game?
They do. I mean, it is flackle. We have flags on, but pretty much for insurance purposes.
Okay.
Yuck.
Say no more.
But I'm hitting you.
Yeah, it's pulled up the website. You guys got the black helmet, orange face cage there.
Yep.
All right, I'm digging it. They got some merch. If you're interested in the Granite Falls Tigers, yeah, I'm just flipping through the whole thing.
Yeah, I love it.
All right,
We need more. Hey, we always need more players. So
I mean, I feel like I would dominate.
How's your quarterback? Is your quarterback any good?
she's very good. She's very good. Yes.
Okay.
Is that better or worse for you? Because in the fullback position, you just want a mediocre quarterback because the running game is going to be more involved, right?
Yeah. No matter what, it's pretty much a run game. We still use some passes. The receiving end.
You should
needs a little
get
work, but-
Mark Ribbon's kid. She can rib it. No pun intended.
Does she play football?
No, she's got a gun on her.
Well, I can believe that.
Yeah.
I think she won the title in that lingerie league.
Okay, so she's probably decent. All right, Rochelle.
Yeah.
Rochelle.
Rochelle, I do respect that.
You got
man.
it.
Go out there. Remember, whatever the temperature is, it's hitting weather.
Yep.
Unless
yep.
it's really hot.
Oh, it's still hitting weather.
Yeah, because then you're angry.
You just slide right off.
Or you're cold. Like I just,
Then
that's
it's hitting weather.
It's just one of those stereotypes you use in high school football. God, weather is it? Hitting weather.
All right, I'll dig it. Okay, Rochelle, here's your question. On the TV show Family Guy, who did Mayor West send back to the fifth dimension?
Gosh. Let's say I'm going to go with Stewie, I guess.
Stewie.
Hebert Zella.
He went with Alex Trebek.
Oh,
Only saying his name backwards can send him back to the fifth dimension.
And
where
what
he
did they model
belongs.
that on, Mike?
Superman.
Because who was the guy?
I don't know.
It was Mixelblick. But if you said his name, swear to God, I grew up watching Super Friends. It was the same thing. There was this little guy, Mixelblick. I'm not even sure what his deal was. I think he looks like a Keebler elf, but he caused problems. Superman didn't like his little ass, so he always had to try to trick him to say Kippelskim, which is Mixelblick backwards, and inevitably it worked at the end of every episode.
He just did it every time. There are so many Family Guy like references that I have enjoyed just for the humor that they are, that I have actually enjoyed seeing later on.
You find out later
as
what
I finally figure out where it's from.
Like, oh.
I don't even know what it is. All of a sudden, I'm watching an old movie like, hey, there it is.
Yeah, my kids had that with The Simpsons. They started watching it like 2 years ago, and they laughed out loud at the episodes. Then a little bit later, they'd have this moment where they understand why it was funny to the rest of us.
Right.
I'm like, right. And my son was like, that's where dough comes from? Like when you make a mistake. Because he's been saying dough since he's like 4. And I'm like, yeah, it came from Homer Simpson, man. All right, your question. Multiple choice. Which mammal can glow in the dark? Glow in the dark. Is it the platypus, the Arctic fox, a fruit bat, or a reindeer? So platypus, Arctic fox, fruit bat, or reindeer. Which can glow in the dark?
It is a platypus.
Of course it's a platypus.
Right, they're magic.
What other animal would it be, right? So there's something with their fur that's
like a polar bear,
right? But a polar bear won't glow.
Right.
Right? So in the absence of light,
jellyfish.
if a platypus needs to, right, it can glow because why not? You lay eggs, you got a bill. What are they?
Venomous, jellyfish can glow.
Yeah, venomous barbs.
Sure. Yeah, the venomous barbs on the end of their webbed ass feet.
With their duck bill.
So how did they get qualified as a mammal?
Because they lay eggs.
But a mammals don't lay eggs. Mammals give live birth.
Damn
right,
it,
so
no,
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it that they provide
milk?
milk, maybe? I think that's the one thing universal that the baby mama can
Platypuses are classified as mammals because they exhibit key mammalian traits, including possessing fur, being warm-blooded, and nursing their young with milk.
But they also lay eggs and have bills, man.
Correct.
I mean, to me, that's a 50-50 shot. You can say, yes, they have fur. Yes, they're warm-blooded.
Well, they had to go somewhere, Steve.
And yes, they nurse, which means that they also have nipples. I wonder if their nipples glow in the dark.
I wonder how long, like, scientists and animal experts sat in a boardroom, like, where in the hell do we put this thing?
Debating.
Yes.
Right, like it lays, you know.
Here's this otter with a doggone duck bill and webbed feet and a beaver tail that lays eggs, has venom, and glows in the dark.
Like, nothing about it is a mammal except blood temperature and fur. And I want to say the platypus, there are some, at the time that it's reported, all right, so you had different explorers going to different places. These guys come back and try to explain a platypus. And the scientific community is like, BS. And they're like, I'm telling you, man, we saw these things. They tried to convince them, well, obviously the natives are playing tricks on you. They're like, they're not, man. We're telling you it's this duck beaver thing.
Right.
And then
So can you eat platypus eggs?
Ooh, hang on. Let me see if I can see if we can.
All right.
Yeah. Look it up. You know what I mean? Like,
They're kind of the strawberry.
I'm a Denny's.
Kind of the strawberry of the mammalian world, where strawberries don't fully, or like tomatoes. They're oddly in the fruit category. However, they could go the other direction. Strawberries, I do that because they got the seeds on the outside.
Do not eat those eggs, dude.
Okay,
No, you cannot eat
They're
platypus
venomous.
eggs.
All right.
Oh, my God, of course they're venomous.
And the males are highly protective of their mates and their young.
And then somebody here says platypuses. I guess that's the right plural. Platypuses.
You keep saying pisses.
Did I say platypus?
You said platypuses.
Oh, platypuses. Sorry.
Like, you know.
They got to have stomachs. Someone says they don't have stomachs. They got to have stomachs.
Right.
Head Chef coming up with the 10 most dangerous foods in your fridge at 4:30 with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. And we got your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You know where your business would be without you. Imagine where it could go with more of you. Well, with Wix, you can create a website with more of your vision, your voice, your expertise. Wix gives you the freedom to truly own your brand and do it on your own. With full customization and advanced AI tools that help turn your ideas into reality. Grow your business into your online brand. Because without you, your business is just business as usual. Go to Wix.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Good news here concerning the Miles Montgomery Golf Classic presented by Pinky's Plumbing, first ever at Bill Wright Golf Complex at Jefferson Park. They have opened up either one or two foursomes, and they are available now. If you click at KISW.com, click on the link for the golf tournament. It says sold out. Do not worry about that. They have opened up one or two. So if you got a team together and you'd like to join us, they open up late. So you have that opportunity now. By the way, the Daily Migs Morning Show, they will be broadcasting live from the Bill Wright Golf Complex at Jefferson Park that Monday morning. I'm sure that makes them excited.
Oh, yeah. Well, why not, man?
Why not? They got peers.
Hey, you got people there to talk to.
Yeah, exactly. Broadcasting live from the parking lot, I bet. Well, they'll probably put them inside.
It depends. If it's raining, keep them outside.
They did. They redid that entire place. So the restaurant's completely new. The bar, the restrooms, the whole deal. So that'll be a good deal. Okay, head chef coming up. Ted's Meat and Potatoes. The 10 most dangerous foods in your fridge. But first, time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Jump into the birthdays. Guys, my husband's birthday is May the 31st. He's 45.
Dip responsibly.
That's right. Brought to you by Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company. Hadn't got to the birthdays yet because that's a Saturday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we don't do, we're not on the air there, Desiree, on Saturday. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel you got into the birthday segment.
What's that?
You got into the birthday segment.
No, not yet. Now time for a few real birthdays. Brought to you by the fine folks at San Juan Salsa Company and Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa.
Dip responsibly.
Now to the real birthdays.
Yeah.
Not ones that are in the future.
Always a win.
Gentlemen, today is my wife Taylor's 31st birthday. She's an amazing wife to our two boys. The best wife I've ever had. That's awful sweet.
How many's he had?
I don't know. Please wish her a happy birthday with some dad jokes from Miles and the Dirty Germans giving her advice on what to do with her next 12 days off. Love you, baby, and happy birthday. That from Alex. All right, listen. Dad jokes. Guys, how many South Americans does it take to change a light bulb? How many South Americans does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know.
One Brazilian. What do you call a dog in a submarine? A dog in a submarine.
Underdog.
It's not bad. A subwoofer. And how do fruit jokes typically start? How do fruit jokes typically start?
With a peel?
Not bad. Man goes into a bar. Man goes into a bar.
Which birthday is this?
31st.
Yeah, she wanted advice on what now?
Oh,
12
Germans
days
giving
off.
advice on what to do with their 12 days off.
Yeah, treat it like the 12 days of Christmas because the maids of milk are always a good time.
Yes, you know, if you do it correctly, so have all the lords a leaping. Man, 12 days off.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Nice birthday present.
That's a good little break.
Yeah, seriously. I never thought about giving myself time off for my birthday before.
Not 12 days.
I do it every year.
Well, yes.
And we all do it for you. The whole country.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Whole world, almost.
Yeah, damn near.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle's want to send in a request for myself just in case none of my friends do, and none of your friends did, Alex. Today is my 40th trip around the Great Yellow Ball, and I would like to have Coach Ted's advice on what to look forward to as a 40-year-old. Also, a bong rip and Bigfoot talking about the delicious Men's Room IPA from Black Raven. Thank you for the years of entertainment. You guys make the drive home that much better. That from Alex.
All right, a lot of things you look forward to in your 40s. First of all, more doctor visits. Most importantly, Alex, figuring out what your real friends are. Because apparently you don't have any. None of them could email in. You've been talking about it for days. I say you jettison those jackasses and find a new crew.
Who's Bigfoot?
Seems a little harsh, Dad, but maybe you could enjoy one of the IPAs, right? I used to get all this grief going, oh, Bigfoot, he's a foodie. He drinks IPA. He's too good for the rest of us. You're right. I am too good for it. But that said, tried to mention my IPA. It's not all heavy like you sissies complain about. It's actually light with notes of citrus.
You're looking out.
You didn't think Bigfoot knew notes of citrus? Kiss Bigfoot's hairy ass.
Looking for your girlish figure there. Guys,
Thank you for noticing.
I'm writing it for myself. I love your show. Today's my 44th birthday, and I love the captain talking about my baked goods. And Coked Out Ted talking about beekeeping while coked up. Thanks so much, guys. Lots of love. That from Kelly.
Ooh, well, happy birthday. I admit I don't know much about baked goods in general, but the old Capitan certainly has a history of sampling pie. Crunch bags.
All right, beekeeping. Well, here's the good thing. When you're all coked up with your beekeeping, you can run in there and grab that honey. I don't care if I'm getting stung. It's much like my cocaine. I like my honey raw. Uncut honey. Comb. Bring me the comb.
Want to wish my buddy Matt a very happy 55th trip around the sun. Skilled mechanic, all-around nice guy. And he listens to the men's room every single day while he's working on cars. He would love to hear some dad jokes from Miles. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
Dishes Sean Connery.
All right, I like that one.
What do you call a hippie's wife? What do you call a hippie's wife?
Mrs. Hippie.
Mrs. Hippie. And guys, the capital, Alaska, is located within the Panhandle.
Oh, yeah?
Did you know that? All right, guys.
Yeah.
Here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Robin. One more email that's concerning the foods from your hometown, the foods that you grew up with. Good day, gents and Miles. You guys were talking about pepperoni rolls again, and my grandmother is 78 years old, grew up in around Iowa, and she is the only person I've ever met who actually makes pepperoni rolls. Now, until recently, she didn't have any cheese in there, just the bun and special elongated skinny pepperoni twigs on the inside, which sounds like it would be dry and hard to eat, but that was never the case. Fresh homemade bread may have had something to do with that. I grew up with them, having them my whole life, did not realize how mind-blowing they were to the rest of the world till I was about 18. So I took a trip up to Grandma's house in the woods, took the whole band I was in at the time so they could meet Grandma. Now, my grandma is a little different. She'll tell you how much she loved Sunshine Acid in the 60s. Now, for years after I turned 18, it was customary that she would set out a bottle of 180 Vicodin pills in it when she knew I was coming. So I tried to tell my friends, and I don't think they believed me until we got there. She said hi to everyone, then looked at me, pointed to the bottle, left the room. I probably yelled, "Told ya," opened the bottle, and distributed those to those who wanted. Grab some joints, and the party begins. Now, my friends could not believe it. 3 hours later, the entire metal band I was in at the time had all our gear set up on Grandma's porch, high as F on Vicodin, blowing weed clouds and blasting metal into the wilderness. As soon as we were done playing, Grandma brings out the pepperoni rolls. Now, everyone instantly forgot how crazy the Vicodin situation was, because these things were really a game changer. I never knew how much of an oddity they were on the item with cheese in them because of hearing you guys mention it. So I'll never know how we did not put that together before these things, because it's so simple and so basic and so deliciously good. Grandma couldn't get the correct pepperoni for a few years during COVID, so I was going through pepperoni roll withdrawals for a while. But they are back. Pictured below is the most recent batch she made. I'm not sure how other people's look, but this is the classic style for my grandma. I'm going to remain anonymous at this time. And there's a picture of some delicious pepperoni rolls.
If you never had them, they're awesome. I remember being a kid. We had some family in Turtle Creek up outside of PA. And same thing. Like, we went up there, and, like, it's close enough to West Virginia. They had them. And as a kid, you don't like to try new stuff. And, like, it was like you couldn't get enough of them.
Say the name out loud. Pepperoni roll. The math is done. You're going to like
fantastic. And you know what they do in West Virginia? They put them in the oven for a minute, let the cheese get warm.
Sure.
They split them down the middle on top, like the way the Subway used to cup their subs.
Yeah.
Then they either put chili in there, sometimes grilled green peppers and onions in the top. They will put marinara in the top.
Yeah.
And then add the onions and peppers and more pepperoni. Then they put them back in the oven and hot bake them like you would a meatball sub.
And people say that West Virginia has no good idea.
I'm telling you,
they
man,
just hit it out of the park.
Any gas station, you can go in and get those. You can drop meatballs in them. They have them about 5 different ways.
I remember shops having them, too. There was just a bunch of them in a bag.
Yeah.
And that's how I remember. Like, you buy a bag of them and then heat them up at home.
All right, coming up at 5:08, we will drink a toast with a shot of the day. But first,
time to open wide and sample Ted's meat and potatoes. Now, here's your host, head chef of the men's room, the Ted Nugent.
Head chef in the house.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. You know, there's a lot of things in the kitchen that can be dangerous. Remember, there's no handle on a falling knife. It's the truth, man. Just let it fall. You should be wearing shoes. You're in the kitchen, so it shouldn't stab you in your foot.
Move your feet. Just move. You know what? Let it hit the ground.
There's hot grease, hot pans, a lot of stuff. But what about dangers in your refrigerator?
What?
Yeah, it's dangerous in there. Basically, Consumer Reports, they came out. None of these outright are dangerous. You know what I mean? Like a hard-boiled egg's not going to have a knife on it. They're just saying these are the most reported, like, recalls and cases of poison, or, people going to the hospital and whatnot.
Okay.
Like I said, most of these on there are going to be, you have in your home. So first, they start with pre-cooked meat. So this is like pre-made salads, frozen burritos.
Okay.
This made the list because it gets recalled a lot. Remember, like, for instance, like what was that? 4 weeks ago, there was that company that makes all the sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, like, you're always going to have those little Caesar salads or whatever.
Yep.
So there's meat in there if you get, like, the chicken Caesar salad. So they're just saying those often will get recalled.
So that company pretty much recalled everything that it makes.
Well, think about what happened with Boar's Head.
Oh, yeah.
Which in my mind is top of the line. So even the best.
I'm with you.
Even the best. You know, they're
things happen.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have food inspectors. All right. Now, this one's low on the list. Only 4 hospitalizations last year. Organic basil.
What basil's not organic?
Well, so you need pesticides on it to kill whatever the disease is, I guess?
I guess they're just saying at least 4 people have gone because of organic basil. These are dangerous.
You mean like they have died? They have passed on?
No. These are just 4 hospitalizations.
Okay. Thank you.
If you want a death, we got to move up the list to organic carrots.
So
there was 1 death last year.
Is this lack of
20 hospitalizations.
Okay, look. So then buy the non-organic, wash the living bejesus out of it to get whatever pesticides, because that is obviously keeping you alive.
Well, people aren't going to the hospital with the one with the pesticide.
Well, it could just be that one organic carrot had a lot of poop on it from some animal. Like, I don't know.
You can only hope.
Well, just also, you got to look at the numbers of people that eat organic carrots. One death, 20 hospitalizations. I mean, it sucks for that family, but I'm not trying to sound heartless. I'm just saying, statistically, I feel you'll be okay eating carrots. But just know, they're in there. They're lurking. Next, leafy greens. 1 death and 36 people had to be treated.
And that's usually like E. coli, and there's something else always seems to pop up. Spinach, sprouts, like they seem to go through the ringer all the
I'm about
time.
to say, I feel like spinach gets recalled once every 5 years.
I mean, I eat a decent amount of spinach. I feel okay. I used to add sprouts to, like, stuff just because it's an easy source.
That's a dangerous one, too.
But sprouts, honestly is really, you're rolling the dice. Like,
they get recalled all the time to the point.
and frankly,
they're not that good.
That's what I was going to say. To me,
they're not worth the risk.
Break down the numbers, right? Like, because they don't taste like much, right? So you could add them to a sandwich and like get some greens without, but like they also don't taste like much, so don't sweat it.
Yeah,
like I'm not getting them.
They're not worth the risk.
They don't say what flavor, but they say onions. These are dangerous foods in your fridge. 1 death, 34 hospitalizations.
Do you put your onions in the fridge? I do not.
I do not either.
I do after I've cut into them.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Once they're chopped up, they go in there.
Right.
I eat a lot of onion too, man.
Yeah.
Like to the point I should
chives, shallots, yellow onions are my favorite.
Red onions. Yeah, I mean, dude, onions. I'm down with onions. Green onions.
I mean,
I typically saute them, so hopefully I'm cooking out the bad.
Hopefully,
whatever.
Also, I was gonna say, I don't know. There's a much better smell in this world than sauteing onions.
Nope.
Onions, peppers, and men's room sausage tonight. The beer broth.
Oh, is that the dinner?
Tonight. That's my dinner.
Nice work.
Yes.
Going down a
Fired
list of the 10 most dangerous foods in your fridge. Eggs.
Yeah.
34 different people landed in the hospital.
It's just because they're holding on to them for too long. They're not necessarily like purple rotten, but they do have a turning point.
They
also,
do. I feel like it takes a while.
I would guess runny would be the culprit.
Yeah,
it could be that.
So if you're letting the yolk go,
You know what's funny? I don't know. It's just the texture. But God, getting an egg on you is just gross. A raw egg.
On you.
Correct.
I think because it dries so quickly. If you get any egg on you, even when you wipe it off, there's still egg on you.
And it's just
somehow
that
it is
clear-
already dried.
It's just clear and slimy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I love eggs, but man, yeah, that's just one of those things. Like, when that's raw and it gets on, you're like, God, this is gross.
It's alive, man.
Eggs are delicious, though, man. God, I love it.
Eggs are awesome. You know, the chef's hats have 100 different.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Can you name 100 different ways to cook the egg?
Some people have tried. Thrill, this one's going to hurt me and you because we thoroughly love this stuff. Queso fresco and cojita cheese.
Oh, come on.
2 deaths, 23 hospitalizations.
That's basically the Mexican version of feta, right? The really light.
And that's the texture, but not the taste.
Okay,
yeah,
right,
I got it in my fridge right now.
Okay.
Man.
But Miles, you're not wrong. It crumbles like feta. It looks a lot like feta. It is.
That's what they put on the Mexican corn if you
Yeah.
go to the Washington State Fair.
All that kind
My
of
wife
stuff.
hooks it up, man. In the summertime, so she'll say, like, do you want corn on the cob? Like, absolutely. And then it's the mayo, the cheese.
Does she put the corn
all
on
these
the
peppers.
grill with the shuck on it and then peel it like they do at the fair?
We have done that, and then sometimes she'll just straight boil it and then just roll it in the cheese mayo concoction. Either way,
Yeah, I mean-
man, it's so good.
I remember years ago sitting at somebody's house, and the dad was like, "I got this recipe," and I was like, "What do you?" And he put mayonnaise on that corn. And I was like, "What in the hell are you doing?" And now I realize he was just a little ahead of the curve with this street corn stuff.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. This one won't shock you. Last year, 29 people ER, raw milk and raw milk cheese.
Yeah.
Raw milk is a big movement. I get it. It's coming back. There is a lot of, studies that show it can be good for you. The issue is you got to really be in a state, A, that allows it, and B, you've got to get it directly from that. You got to get it pretty much from that source and then drink it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
not
I have a
the
friend in
milk, it's the
California.
pathogens,
Right,
and that's
they're
still
by a
okay.
farm, so they can do this.
Yeah, that
But the
helps.
farm could have a problem too.
Right,
So-
and you find out.
So no deaths, but 173 different people went to the hospital for cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I eat like 2 or 3 of those a week.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
You ever get the English cucumber?
The little smaller ones?
Uh,
the pickling cucumbers?
No, they're longer, but they have less seeds.
Well, and they're covered in plastic, too. They come in that little, vacuum plastic wrap.
Well, they had to come across the ocean, Mike.
That's right. Yeah, I get those all the time.
I love the English ones.
They're fantastic.
I don't know why. If you get a big fat cucumber and it's too seedy, it throws me off. But that English cucumber, it's always
I like them big and
Do they
fat.
taste different, or is it just a lack of seeds that's easier to eat?
I think he's right that the taste is not necessarily different. It's the texture.
The texture, yeah.
And I feel like
Okay.
the big fat ones go bad quicker because all of that room in the middle gets mushier faster.
Yeah. I'd like
that's
to
just
see,
me.
like, have like mini kosher dills? Like, why can't I just buy mini pickles?
Well, you can buy mini cucumbers.
Or mini cucumbers.
I buy
mean.
them all the time.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Oh, I buy 5 of them a week.
All right, I guess I got to look around.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know they were selling them.
You
yet.
got to eat those quick, though, because those turn very, very fast.
Sometimes they're prepackaged, so they got them in plastic. So they look like they're in a little, container.
Well, I know. Was that, Mike,
Or a
was that
little
last
bag.
summer? There was a big thing going around where everybody's just like, how to eat a whole cucumber. And people started making different recipes with it. I mean, cucumber is just refreshing. So, I mean, it goes on a lot of stuff. Kind of going back to feta and the gyro. I love the cucumber bite. Then number one on the list, again, I could be wrong. I'm willing to bet all of us in here have some form of this, if not right now in our fridge, generally do. 87 hospitalizations last year, 10 deaths. Deli meat.
Yeah.
I wondered if it wasn't going to be chicken or something like that. Yeah.
Well, and deli meat, I was saying earlier in the show, deli meat's one of those things, too, where, like, you buy it, and then, I don't, it sounds strange, but for whatever reason, like, if I buy it, like, I don't eat it on the weekends as much. And then you got to do that thing on Monday, like, is this still okay?
Hold on to the letters or a rainbow.
Yeah. So you're right. You gotta look at it. You gotta smell it. So I would say overall from this list, like, right, going back to the cheese, to the milks, to your yogurts, if it's something you gotta look at and smell, just
throw it away.
Well, just you should know that's a tipping point on one of those things, right?
I never realized how bad the meat was. So my wife got pregnant, and they said, hey, don't consume alcohol. That one didn't shock me. The only other thing they brought up was cured meat.
Cured meat.
Think about that. Like, you're pregnant, so don't drink alcohol. We're all aware of that. We can understand. But, and cured meat. Whatever else you wanted to eat.
That includes a hot dog,
all of it.
Yes,
I mean, seriously,
everything.
Trust me, my
All
wife
the
asked
good
a few
stuff.
questions. He's like, is it cured? If the answer is yes, do not put this in your body.
No kidding.
Yeah, seriously, man.
I'll tell you the new one that's got me is, and most grocery stores sell it now. It's kind of more expensive than other cured meats, but it's like cured beef. Almost like salami, but it's beef.
Oh.
Is it?
There's a word for it. I can't think of it right now.
I think I might have it at home.
Yeah,
my
it
wife
is.
loves the stuff. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is. It is delicious. So be careful out there, folks. Don't let your fridge hurt you.
Thank you, Head Chef. We appreciate it. Coming up at 5:08, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to the Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's the difference between DIY and doing it yourself? It's the difference between a part-time passion and a full-time business. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker. With a website that fits your unique vision, let your ideas flow with AI that guides you but keeps you in the driver's seat. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Go to Wix.com.
There is no better time to buy than right now at Bellingham Ford. Best selection in years. Employee pricing for everyone on almost every new car, truck, SUV, or EV. Don't miss out on low interest rates and great lease payments. Highest trade-in values right now. Let us prove it. Free maintenance included with purchase of new truck, car, SUV, or EV. Same-day oil change service. Full-service body shop and detail shop to make your vehicle look and smell like new. There really is no better time to buy than now. Call us at 360-392-7000 or visit us at bellinghamford.com.
Financing on approval of credit. All offers expire May 31, 2025.
5:08, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. There's an article on NPR about the secret to breaking through small talk with magical questions.
Magical questions.
Basically, it's what you do strive to do in any conversation, or at least what you should strive to do in any conversation that you have is ask a question that everybody can relate to and basically has a story to. It's kind of like what we do on this show here. The problem is that the examples that they give is it's hard to ask these questions randomly in a group of people that you're small talking with without sounding crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
When's the time that you were the most happy with giving a gift?
And nobody, you're right. Everyone will be like, this dude, he's a little weird.
How about we go around the room and talk about the first concert that we went to and where it was?
How about we don't?
Right. I get what you're trying to do, but
If a concert comes
it's
up,
not small talk. Like I could tell sometimes too. people like taking a class or something. It's like, dude, we don't need to do that. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to talk, it's okay.
And the situation will get there. If somebody brings up a concert, I took my kid to see I don't know.
Exactly.
Disney on Ice. There's a way to get into the conversation. Man, my first concert was. And once you say that, everyone else will chime in and tell you.
Right. I
don't ask them directly. It's
right.
weird.
I did it like a week ago, right? I was somewhere, and the guy behind me, I heard him mention a place. Now, when my buddy went to the bathroom, I said, hey, have you ever been to this oyster place there? And he was like, my man. I spent too much money there, and this and that. I was like, all right, good. I love that place, too.
Got you locked in. And then, look, I'm terrible at conversations. I really am, because I don't like small talk. I'm terrible with it. I'm horribly awkward. And my biggest problem is that I don't know what to talk to you about. When it's my first time meeting you, I don't know what you're into that I can talk about. And that's the difficulty of small talk, is you're kind of chipping away at the person on the outside to figure out what it is that you're going to talk about. So, same thing. I read a book on it that basically says nobody likes small talk, but it's necessary to go through it.
Yeah.
Right. You have to do it to get to that person on the inside.
Yeah, it's kind of how we communicate with other humans.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You can't just run into somebody at a concert. Like, we have the bond. We're both here.
Yep.
So, right? Like last Sunday, right? Like, obviously, we both like Billy Strings. We're out here.
Right.
But I don't need to ask him some deep question.
Right.
I'll just start BSing, whether about Billy.
There you go.
Or Willie.
And just see where it takes you.
Or Bob.
Billy Willie, and Bob. Billy Willie, Bob. A new study revealed that the true answer for which way is the right way to hang your toilet paper. So let's go around the room real quick. What do you guys do when it comes to, is it over the top or is it around the back?
It's over the top.
Over the top. Ted Smith.
I have done extensive research over the top.
Over the top. Mr. Hill, over the top or around the back?
No preference.
No preference.
No.
I'm over the top myself, and that is the way to do it.
Yeah. For years, I had it underneath, and people were like, it's got to be over top. And then I did some research, and it's like basically the dude that invented it's like, this is the way it is.
Well, and they tried to make it a health thing where if it's around the back, you run a higher risk depending on how your holder is designed. But you run the risk of like hitting the wall that's behind it, which could spread germs and infection.
Okay, it's a bit of a stretch. They're not wrong,
Right.
but yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your preference. Do whatever you want to do. It's just if
As
you go
long
around.
if it's on the frickin' roller, I'm happy. If you can just get it on there, I'm fine.
2 of the world's most invasive termite species are starting to interbreed.
Oh, one super termite.
One super termite.
We don't really have that problem here.
We really don't.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That was another
Seriously.
one. Growing up, the cartoons always had termites that just ate away at whatever it was.
And as a kid, you're like, are these real?
For the most part.
Because I keep hearing about it, but I don't know anyone. And
Right.
Why is it, so these 2 invasive termites, they get together, have sex. Now they have a super termite. The rats in Baltimore, because a wharf rat and a brown rat had sex.
Mm-hmm.
And the rats were bigger and harder to get rid of.
Right.
Right? Why doesn't that happen with people? You know what I mean? Like every time there's something bad or something that people don't like, right? And there's multiple species. It seems like when these species get together, they come up with a worse bird. Hell, even like a tiger and a lion, right? They create a liger. And it's not that it's any friendlier or more ferocious, but it's almost twice as big as either of its parents.
Right.
Now you took a carnivore and just made it an apex predator and made it larger.
House thought they had a termite problem when I was working for Tri-State Exterminating.
Tri-State Exterminating.
That's right. And I was the guy who drilled into the foundation.
Yeah.
Because I was young. And that's a really, really crappy job, right? Big old drill bit. You're on your knees. You're going about every foot around the entire perimeter of the home.
Okay.
I hit a nest.
Oh, termites.
You've never seen more bugs in your life
No kidding.
come out of one hole. I mean, it was nonsense. It was almost like you turn on a water faucet of bugs coming out the hole that I just drilled. I pulled that bit out. I mean, they just flooded. I jumped back. I'm like, oh, I got him, Jim. I know where they are,
They're
man.
there.
Spray it here. Wow. For sure now. Because typically you drill first and then spray at the end of the job. Then you take concrete and you fill in those holes.
Yeah.
And see, this has always been a wild thing for me because it's like, does it just start with 1 or 2 termites that are just out there exploring the area? Then they're like, a house. And then do they go back and call the colony? Do they just start building there? Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll tell you a weird thing about that, too. The pesticides, right? He had like a 20-gallon drum in the back of his truck. There was, pesticide stuff.
Yeah.
And you mixed that before you did your job, whatever it was. It's like 1 cup of concentrate 20 gallons of water.
Damn.
You have no idea. Like, you need a
It's potent.
you need a license to buy it.
Yeah,
Like, you know?
yeah.
You're gonna burn something here.
Crazy.
There's actually a study on the science behind crying happy tears.
Okay.
All right.
It's not terribly interesting. You know, we associate crying with a sadness thing, but to be honest with you, crying is a response to the brain's overloading of emotion is what it is. It's when you are so overcome with emotion that your brain doesn't know how to handle it, so it cries.
I shed a tear when the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
There you go.
I could not have been happier.
Exactly. Your brain just didn't know how to process it, so it's like, flood the eyeballs.
And scream, yeah, with both hands up. Just do those things.
I'd say Stapleton got me.
Nice.
And then in London, walking up to the Emirates where Arsenal plays. I had just watched so many games on TV by this point. Like, just, I don't know how to explain it, but just seeing that stadium in person, I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever done.
I need a minute, man.
I'll tell you what else. The last time, or a few months ago, when Maryland was playing a basketball game, I took a couple of my buddies from here to the Maryland pep rally, and we got giant hats, and watching my buddies sing the Maryland fight song kind of got to me, too.
Nice.
Look at them, man. They're real Terps.
Nailing it, man. Some people argue that we're throwing away items that could be repurposed into something else way too often.
Of course.
Well,
Right.
sure. I mean,
Exactly.
some man's trash, another man's treasure, Mike.
Let me give you some examples.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 common items everyone throws away that should be used again and again and again. I've been using the same plastic fork for over a month now. Sure, I've got real silverware, but I don't feel like loading and unloading my dishwasher. I figure as long as I run that fork under some warm water to get any food particulate off of the tongs, I'm good to go. Plus, I don't believe all this hubbub about microplastics causing damage to your body, like getting into your brain or your coccyx or your pee-pee.
Thank you, VD. So these are common items that everyone throws away that should be used again and again and again. Number 10, takeout containers.
Really?
Most plastic takeout containers are not flimsy. They're built to handle heat, stacking, and travel. Many are dishwasher safe and can be reused for months with basic care. Instead of tossing them after one use, wash them and use them for leftovers, meal prep, pantry organization, or even craft supplies.
If I'm getting Thai food and getting soup, those containers they have for the soup.
Oh, those are great.
Or pho, whatever. Yeah, those little they last forever.
Yeah.
Nice work.
They're actually pretty good.
All right, I dig it. Empty spice jars. They're just begging for a second life, boys.
Weed. I used to, but then you end up with too many. Like, I don't need anymore.
Spices don't last forever, but their jars can. Those small, uniform containers are incredibly useful for all kinds of storage. Everything from house-made spice blends and herbal teas to sewing needles, office supplies, or even travel-sized toiletries. Their small size, screw-top lids, and clear bodies make them ideal for organizing tiny, tiny things.
Yeah, they're not wrong. It's just at some point, I'm like, I got too many.
Yeah. I remember when there was a juice bottle that I think I got one time. It came in this little tiny glass bottle. Drank this juice, one of those like super juices or whatever. And I drank it. I was like, that's actually a really good bottle. I should keep that. I haven't done a damn thing with it since. It's just sitting there. Again, common items that everybody throws away that could be used again and again and again and again. Tissue paper. They say it can be folded and reused again and again. Tissue paper is one of the most wasted gift wrapping supplies out there, but it's also one of the easiest to reuse. After birthdays, holidays, or packages in the mail, smooth out the used sheets, fold them gently, and tuck them into the drawer. Even crinkled pieces work beautifully for future gifts, shipping filler, or art projects. Most tissue paper is surprisingly durable and can survive multiple uses if you handle it gently.
Don't care. The only time I get tissue paper is when someone gives a gift. The only time it's ever used is if my wife is wrapping a gift.
There you go.
But we don't feel the need to keep it.
No. I feel like no matter what, if I'm using tissue paper, I buy it with the bag that I buy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, generally.
On the way to the party.
Yeah. I mean, I use a lot more tissue paper now because it just makes the bag look better.
Yep.
But I'm with you. That's the only reason. People are like, just hand some tissue paper.
Exactly. Well, and after you flatten it out, like, no, the crinkles are still there. And you can tell, like, this is reused tissue paper.
Let's just be honest, too. Like, Christmas, birthday, that's a lost venture. You're buying a gift. You got to put some. You got to buy the tissue paper in the bag. Like, We've just established giving this gift is a loss for me.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I get the tissue paper back?
Number 7, rubber bands and twist ties are free organizing tools in disguise. Those little bands and ties that come with produce, bread bags, or bundles of herbs, don't toss them. They're endlessly reusable and perfect for organizing chargers, sealing half-used snack bags, labeling plants, or bundling loose items in drawers. Twist ties can even be written on for quick DIY tags or garden markers.
The best use I've seen is like if you have a pair of cheap like thong flip-flops.
Yeah.
If that thing keeps pulling in to the bottom, put the little bread thing underneath it.
Oh, there you go.
And that'll stop it from coming through.
Okay. There you go.
All right.
Paper shopping bags are tougher and more reusable than they look. They might seem disposable, but most paper, grocery, or retail bags are durable enough for several rounds of reuse. With built-in handles and thicker construction than plastic, they're perfect for hauling lunch, carrying returns, or stashing everything from books to off-season clothing. You can even cut them into wrapping paper or turn them into homemade gift bags and seed starting pots.
Or if you live in King County, use them for recycling.
Exactly.
That's what I like to
100% of them go under the sink and they're used for recycling.
Yes.
That's all I'm doing.
I use them all the time for recycling.
Right.
You take one out, you just put it next to your trash can so people know.
Right. Because there's inevitably going to be some sort of a liquid with whatever it is that you're recycling.
Right.
And it soaks it up just fine. It's great. Candle jars are way too useful to throw away with the wax. Once the wax is gone, most people toss candle jars, but they're usually made of thick, reusable glass. A little hot water or freezer trickery loosens the leftover wax, and once clean, these jars make beautiful storage for everything from cotton swabs to spices and hardware.
But see, I don't want to go through all that.
No.
And really, just look, man, in a flower vase, I get, like, rinse the bitch out. But if there's all this wax and crap, like, I'm not going through all this for a glass.
Right, and I'm never that hard up for storage that I think I need to keep my candle jars. To be fair, I'm not using candles a whole lot anymore, but I don't find myself, going on there and getting like reusable totes or something like that online that I buy and bring home.
Correct. Look, if you're one of those people that's super clean, I get some of this stuff. Like for somebody like me, I already have enough clutter.
Yeah.
So I don't need to start be like, I should save this too.
Yeah,
I'm already saving enough BS.
Exactly.
For nothing.
Your oldest T-shirts still have a job. It's just not as clothing. Before tossing that threadbare tee, cut it into rags. Soft cotton makes excellent cleaning clothes for dusting, polishing, or wiping down counters and windows. Unlike paper towels, they don't leave lint behind, and they're washable and reusable for months. All right. Not the worst idea.
I mean, that's fair, sure.
I feel like my folks used those old cotton diapers.
It's not much different.
It's
right?
like dust rags and whatnot.
Oh, sure.
Because after a while, you don't care about getting it stained anymore or anything like that. So
it's been pooped in.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like, who cares? Just keep rolling. It took me forever to figure that out when I was a kid too. When I was growing up.
What's that?
Is that those things were diapers? Because for me,
Oh, yeah.
diapers was Pampers or whatever in the hell that everybody just throws away all the damn time. I did not realize that we had that reusable diapers was a thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want it to be.
Yeah.
I did not want it to be, but yes, it could be done.
I mean, you're not wearing them.
That's true. That's his problem.
You notice they don't recommend that for older adults, just for babies.
Just babies, right?
It's a good point.
Why wouldn't they, though?
Because the adults
Because
are much
if
bigger.
and I think if you're at that point, like, you might not know. You probably aren't going to be on top to like just change it right away.
Yeah.
Like the baby has no idea, so it's on you as the parent to be like, all right, I need to change it. But if you're already just kind of sitting there and letting a little out, not meaning to, maybe you're not on top of changing your own diaper.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Bread bags aren't fancy, but they're surprisingly functional. Don't let those thin plastic bread bags fool you. They're reusable and surprisingly handy. Rinse and dry them, and then they become the perfect container for storing produce, marinating food, or keeping snacks fresh. You can even use them as liners for compost bins or to freeze items short term.
I don't know that I ever felt poor at having a sandwich made on the heels of the bread, and then we didn't have a bag.
And then wrapped it in the bread.
Oh, God. I feel embarrassed just even thinking about walking into school with that sandwich and stuff in the bag.
We've all been there, brother.
Nothing wrong with a heel sandwich. I actually like the crust. Unpopular opinion, I like the crust. No.
Do you like it, or is that just your
Because it's
kind
been
of...
in there for the longest period of time.
That's
of
just
the
your
entire
personal
loaf.
thing, yeah.
Maybe.
So
I do like
if
it.
you get the loaf for 5-6 days, they've been sitting on the end.
Yeah.
They're not moist
Protecting
in the middle.
loaf.
Yeah, they're protecting the loaf, but they're not worthy of your time to eat it.
I disagree. You put the right things on there, then you just get a good old crusty sandwich. I like the crust. I really do like the crust.
That's a sad sandwich when you got to use one of those.
Shipping envelopes don't belong in the trash after one use. No. Padded envelopes, bubble mailers, even the sturdy paper ones from online retailers. Most of these can be reused multiple times before they hit the bin. Carefully slit them open, avoid tearing, and keep stash for when you need to send something later.
All right.
Okay. I've never felt that up against it, but do what you got to do.
Does anyone have a memory of throwing away a Crown Royal bag?
No.
Even if you didn't know what you were going to put in it, you're like, save this for a rinse.
Those you do keep.
Right, the store is easy.
It really does.
And then I'll leave you with this last common item that everybody throws away that should be used again and again and again. The glass jar from your pasta sauce can organize half of your kitchen. Yeah, they're perfect for storing dry goods, leftovers, homemade dressings, or even pins and screws. Okay.
I'm not sure.
If you like to. It's allowed, I guess. A video is making the rounds from Miami of a police officer doing something straight out of an action movie, Miles.
What was that?
Tell about it at 5:15.
Tickets or headlines are coming up at 5:15. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve a Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today, we toast an unfortunate group of passengers on a recent Delta flight to Orlando, Florida. Now, we're not sure where the flight originated from, but after passengers boarded the plane, their flight was delayed for 2 hours. And passengers, they were just stuck on the plane, just sitting on the runway for 120 minutes. Now, naturally, many people grew agitated and irritable. And then, in an inexplicably poor effort to calm the passengers down, the flight crew agreed to let a little girl sing the song How Far I'll Go from the Disney movie Moana over the intercom. So she's not just like a 2-year-old girl singing in a chair where you kind of go, that's cute. It's like a 12 or 13-year-old girl has the intercom and is singing Disney tunes to people that have been stuck on a plane, not a flight, just a plane for 2 hours. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, this sounds like my worst nightmare, my personal hell. One passenger said, quote, this is actually my nightmare and personal hell. If you're thinking to yourself, this would send me over the edge. Another passenger said, quote, this sent me over the edge. Now, the good news is eventually the kid did shut up and the plane took off for Orlando. The bad news is when it reached Orlando airspace, it had to circle the Orlando airport for another 2 hours.
Oh, my God.
So you were on a runway for 2 hours because you can't take off. There's a little girl singing Disney songs. I would have lost my frickin' mind. The flight finally takes off, and then when you get to Orlando airspace, it's like, yeah, we got to circle for 2 hours before you land.
Jesus.
Why did they let it go on that long? I mean, I'm sure it was cute the first couple songs, but
I'm
with you. I'd be like,
I don't know.
okay.
Listen, cute, when it's that kind of thing, especially if you're going to sing a Disney song, which just absolutely makes my eyes twitch, but if the kid is 8 years old or younger, I will shut my mouth because it's cute. This girl may be preteen. She's old enough that it's not cute anymore. It's just annoying. I just watched the video, and I kind of chuckled, and I'm like, I would have to kill this person. And I don't know why the flight crew said, hey, don't just sing, little girl. Here's the intercom. So, my God, dude.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bijola. All right, just going to get tested on the line for Profile This now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker. with a website that fits your unique vision and drives you towards your goals. Let your ideas flow with AI tools that guide you, but give you full control and flexibility. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. Get everything you need to turn your part-time passion into a full-time business. Go to Wix.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker with a website that fits your unique vision and drives you towards your goals. Let your ideas flow with AI tools that guide you, but give you full control and flexibility. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. Get everything you need to turn your part-time passion into a full-time business. Go to Wix.com.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhook, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Sammy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, Pacholas.
Hola. All right, Sammy, you understand how this here game is played?
I think so.
Well, fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 categories today. We offer you Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? License to Spill, where you guess the substance responsible for creating the mess. And finally today, Seriously, where you guess the petty conflict that led to violence.
Let's do License to Spill.
All right, we go over across the pond to the Isle of Wight, where a crash involving an overturned tractor trailer carrying 20 tons of product. The vehicle, basically, it slammed into an on-duty sheriff's deputy. It slammed into a truck traveling without headlights, and that resulted in all the drivers being hospitalized and the road being shut down. Now, the accident occurred just before midnight, roughly 2 miles away from the fine city of Windsor. Now, state police say that a sheriff's deputy struck the truck driving without its headlights. That was traveling southbound. The tractor trailer that was hauling 20 tons of cargo attempted to avoid the crash of the other 2 vehicles, but it ran off the road into a ditch, landed on its side. All 3 drivers taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Troopers said that the product would, quote, need to be unloaded from the tractor trailer. Now, state police said that the road closure caused major delays, as one might imagine. The road has since been reopened. The question is, what was this truck hauling 20 tons of cargo of? Was it hauling beer? Was it hauling ham? Was it hauling meatballs, or was it hauling chicken? So beer, ham, meatballs, or chicken, 20 tons of it were in the back of this truck.
Okay, and you said the truck hit the ditch, but not the road?
It hit so the truck tried to avoid the accident between a police car and another vehicle. When he swerved, the truck ended up going into a ditch on the side of the road, rolled over, and that's when the product came flying out.
Okay. By the weight of the product, my first instinct is to go with beer, but, I'd like to hear what you gentlemen think.
Sammy, I'm going to go chicken.
Chicken.
And I really only know the Isle of Man from that famous motorcycle rally.
Isle of Wight.
Oh, Isle of...
Yeah,
so I'm on the wrong island.
You are on the wrong island.
Damn it. That changes
Much
things.
different trucks.
Then it's ham.
Ham for Ted.
Yeah, the only thing I really know about over there is what I've learned from watching F1, so, Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with beer just because I know pretty much no matter where you're at in the world, everybody loves their beer.
Okay. Are you single by chance, Sammy?
Yes.
Okay, because Ted might date you. You said everything you've learned. You learned F1.
F1 and beer.
Chunk of beer.
I learned that Ted doesn't like women that like the same interests as him. He's made that very clear in prior comments.
Nah, Ted, should have kept your mouth shut. Oh, well.
That's mainly just football. F1 I can watch with you.
Okay. Breaking his rules. What's that truck hauling? Beer, ham, meatballs, or chicken? We're going to find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
You set the gold standard for your business. Your website should do the same. Wix puts you at the helm, so you can enjoy the creative freedom of designing your site just the way you want. Want someone to bounce your ideas off? Talk with AI to create a beautiful site together. Whatever your business, manage it from one place and tie it all together with a personalized domain name. Gear up for success with a brand that says you best. You can do it yourself on Wix.
Category is license to spill on profile. This has been a crash involving a tractor trailer. Hit a cop car along the way in the Isle of Wight, and it spilled its 20 tons of cargo. Question is, what was in that tractor trailer? Beer, ham, meatballs, or chicken?
And that is the question we posed to you, Sammy. Let us start with Miles in Montgomery. He went with chicken. It was not chicken. Sammy, you went with beer. I like where your head's at. However, it was not beer.
Oh, damn.
Ted Smith, you went with ham. The dumbest answer up there.
Ham?
And correct.
It was the Isle of Wight.
What is ham?
It's not really.
Mike, you like ham?
You think of white
Miles,
people?
you like ham?
Yeah.
I like ham.
All right.
I had some ham last. I was like,
Did you really?
there was some in my fridge and just ate a couple pieces. I don't know. I was my brain was so set on the Isle of Man. That's what you said, Isle of Wight. I just went, it's got to be ham.
Ham. Well, you were right.
Okay. Now for all the TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
I think it came up earlier today, but Oklahoma City Thunder did win the Western Conference Final. They will be in the NBA Finals. I don't think it goes without saying, anybody that's lived in Seattle, that's from Seattle, you hate the Oklahoma City Thunder because that was the Sonics.
Yep.
And then that dude bought them and just kind of stole them away. Special shout out, of course, to Howard Schultz for selling them to that dude. God forbid an oil baron moves him where he's from. All right, anyhow. My issue with that Oklahoma City Thunder team is that in the era of NBA teams that just go out and build and have a big three or whatever, they kind of did it the right way.
They did.
They've drafted all those guys. I don't know why. Maybe because he's so tall and skinny. I always hate on Chet Holmgren, but then I see interviews with him and stuff.
Was he the Gonzaga guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he seems cool. Everybody seems to like him. And it's more frustrating because if that was any other team, I think I'd be on the bandwagon for it. Let's see what these guys do.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I hate to say it, credit to them for building it the correct way.
They did everything you should do.
And Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana's had a couple trades, though, and stuff. Yeah. But, they drafted all those dudes. And, they were some down years there, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then also it's Oklahoma City, so I don't know a ton about Oklahoma City. I'm imagining outside of cheering for the Oklahoma Sooners, that's the only game in town.
I think so, yeah.
And they're in Norman.
The Sooners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I just assume most of those people like that.
I would think they do.
Most people in Dallas are still Texas fans. You got to go a little bit farther out to become Texas A&M fans. Let's see. I was talking a little bit about history stuff and things for Memorial Day. Memorial Day did pass. I know I'm the only one in here that seems to rewatch terrible, sad war movies and stuff.
Yes.
So last week I had a list about best Memorial Day movies. So just for the heck of it, I want to see how many of these movies you guys have seen.
Okay.
And then
I'm more interested in how recently you have seen them.
I will say, I think that's the other interesting thing.
Yeah.
Has Ted rewatched it?
Like you said, you've seen this movie. I saw it when it came out in 1985, right? With Ted, be like, and I watched it in January of this year.
One of the greatest stories from World War II, and it was a great help, Wind Talkers.
I know the
This is
name.
about the
I never
Native
saw.
Americans
Yeah,
that
the
had
Code
their own
Breakers.
Code Breakers.
That was Nicolas Cage, right?
Is Nick Cage in that movie?
Was he in that movie?
They
Am I
just break
completely
a
wrong?
code.
I remember my dad liked it. It is. Yeah, that's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man. And a good piece of American history. Has anybody in here seen it?
I have not.
No. I've seen it 3 times.
3 times.
Really? Yeah, I watch it every time I can find it.
Okay.
The next one from 2014, a little more recent, American Sniper.
Yes.
Yes. That's one that you watch once.
I agree with you on this one. I remember me and a buddy, this was years ago, we went to the Cinerama, and we should have known better. We were just like, oh, American Sniper, let's check that out. And we had all these plans for dinner afterwards. That movie ended. I looked at him, I said, I just kind of want to go home, be with my thoughts. And
The
he was
only
like, yeah,
thing,
me too.
only experience I've had like that. So my daughter was in Washington, D.C. last week for a class trip. And, they take them around to all the things. One of the things they did, they went to the Holocaust Museum. And so she had a lot to say about that. And I said, hey, look, man, when I was in Germany a couple years ago, and we went to Dachau.
Correct.
And for me personally, there's no heavier experience than going through this. And I said, but due to what I would call a scheduling error, as we walk out, and everyone just feels about as bad as you can feel. It's like, all right, guys, we're going to lunch.
Great.
And I'm like, I've never wanted to not eat more.
So
it's just how it shook out. But I'm like, we really did not think about
I think it was before I was in high school. But my cousin played football at West Virginia.
Okay.
So I got some access. But I was also like a pony league quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So the quarterback for West Virginia at the time was a guy named Ben Reed.
All right.
All right. So he would kind of chuck the ball with you, like teach you some things. Here's a 5-step drop, 3-step drop, all these things, right? So I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, that looks exactly like Ben Reed. And I'm like, that's Ben Reed. So I wait for the credits to roll on American Sniper.
Yeah.
Ben Reed.
Really?
I had not seen him since I was in 7th grade, 8th grade. I was
Okay.
like, you're a movie star now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say, and I don't know what the difference is, like, the Iwo Jima Memorial, that's just across the river in D.C., like, it's massive. I will say, it's like our buddy Marshawn, he was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
But, like, you go there, I've been to all the museums and everything. I don't know what it is, but, like, the Vietnam Wall, that's another one that just, and it's just a wall with those names. That's another one. Not a lot of talking going on there.
No.
It is one of the quietest spots in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And I remember in the scheme of things in D.C., it's a fairly recent addition to that area. And they had a competition about designing it, et cetera, et cetera. I remember when they announced the winner and what it's going to be. And I was so disappointed. I'm like, a wall with names. And maybe 5 years later, I finally see the thing, and I'm like, they got it right.
Yeah,
I mean,
and like, my dad, he was a Vietnam vet. So, I mean, like, when I was a kid, I want to say almost every Memorial Day, we would go down there and, like, walk around. And, that's definitely one that, you don't mess around there.
And my son's middle name is from an uncle he'll never know who died in Vietnam, right?
All right.
So his middle name came from. So when we took the kids there, it just really hit him. But anyway, so my daughter last week, she's like, oh, no, I stopped by the name, pointed out to the classmates. I'm like, you found it? She's like, and you can look up what the name is. She just remembered. You have to understand, there are tens of thousands of names on this wall.
Good for her.
Oh, that's how her brain works. So she's like, no, I remember where it was. I'm like, okay. Wow. Cool.
I mean, that's like Arlington. If you've ever been to Arlington National Cemetery, it is so big. Like, we had my dad's ceremony, and then, honestly, I bet it took us half an hour to go find Brendan Looney's grave.
Yeah, it's endless.
All right, what about Born on the 4th of July?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
You
never seen that? Arguably Tom Cruise's best movie.
I believe it's on the list as number 1. I just saw a list of the
far as
50,
his acting,
50 movies, and that was number 1 of Tom Cruise.
Correct. Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. Not a great one. I bet I've seen it 4 times.
Jesus, man. Again,
that's a
very
sad,
good
terrible
movie, but it's just,
dark.
It's like watching Old Yeller over and over. It's like, it's a fine movie, man, but I just don't leave feeling good, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's growing up. My dad liked war movies.
Sure.
I don't know. I like them, and which is weird to say out loud because they're terribly sad.
They're all very good. Horribly sad.
Greyhound, I don't know that one. Lone Survivor, I haven't watched that one yet, but I want to watch that one.
Lone Survivor. Who was in that? I don't.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. This is a little before my time, but MASH.
The original movie I did not see.
I saw it once, probably 30 years ago. And it's about as upbeat as the TV show.
All right, here's one that they said was good for Memorial Day that'll keep you in a good mood. Well, except for the middle part with Goose dies. Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
That's probably
the entertainment value, yes.
Yeah, that's probably the lightest of them all.
Right, I mean, as far as like combat movies go, Top Gun is pretty. It's
tame,
pretty loose. I mean, again, I just watched it less than a month ago. Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that's
always a top.
I mean, I think people need to understand too. I mean, last night I watched an hour special just on Nazis and the occult, and then Nazis and the Pope.
History Channel or Discovery?
American Heroes Channel.
American Heroes Channel.
God, you're either going to have fun watching sports
I
with
know.
Ted or absolutely.
You need to get on a plane more, man. More rom-coms. I'm just going to have you fly around in circles just so you can cleanse your palate.
Do you guys want to cheer on your team or feel terrible about yourselves?
You got to learn our history, man.
Schindler's List coming up next.
All right, so to finish out the list, they had Glory on there.
Of course.
Matthew Broderick. Again, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen that one. Great movie. And then Fury and Hacksaw Ridge kind of round out the ones.
Okay.
I haven't seen either of those.
Fury was a really, really good movie. That one was a deep one. That had to do with tank life, basically, as it were. That was deep. That was a really good one. And then Hacksaw Ridge, tank life. Hacksaw Ridge. That was the kid that joined the army, if I'm not mistaken, and refused to pick up a weapon. And he became because he wanted to help the soldiers out, and he became a medic.
All right.
And he got countless dudes out of a really, really bad situation.
Hacksaw Ridge also sounds like the name of a guy that would beat you to death.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a true story, actually.
I've heard that.
It's wild, man.
Have you ever seen Heartbreak Ridge?
No.
All right.
Is it depressing?
I mean,
So, yes. If it takes you that long to answer, yes.
I mean, it's a little bit of a love story wrapped in there. He's back
But
from
depressing.
Vietnam. Yeah, he had been on a terrible Vietnam thing, and now he's trying to get these out of these crazy troops.
Save that for Christmas Eve.
Get him in line. Save that for Christmas Eve.
We did get a text here. It says, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and he loved horror movies, but one movie he could never actually watch was We Were Soldiers. That one's tough.
I can believe that, man.
That one's tough. I think I've only seen that one once.
That one got me because you watch the entire movie, and I fought through it as far as like keeping my composure on that one. And at the very end, when they just start flashing up all the names of the vets, it's just that's when it hit me because they just kept coming. They just kept coming.
Well, let's stick with all the upbeat stuff here. Marvel's first big screen hero or superhero, he passed away.
Cool.
You might not know it, but his name was Ed Gale. He was 3'4". He was the man in the bird suit in Marvel's first theatrical film, 1986, Howard the Duck.
Oh, for real?
Howard the Duck.
He was the dude inside. It was a Marvel franchise, believe it or not. Yeah.
Correct. He did not do the voice.
He was the duck?
He was inside the suit. He was the duck.
What was his name again?
Ed Gale.
Ed Gale.
He also wore the Chucky suit, the original Child's Play, and two of its sequels.
Why is this funny?
He's
Mike?
bigger to be Chucky, I think.
He did 130 movies and TV shows.
Did we ever see his face, or is he always in costume? Mike, you were dying. Why is that funny? The man died.
The loss of the legend, Steve.
Howard the Duck?
I mean, I guess.
And Chucky.
Who's the guy from Willow?
Who else did he play?
Who's Willow? What's his name?
I guess he got all this guy's roles when this guy was done. I mean, how many prolific 3'4" actors are there?
There's not. There's what's his face from Game of Thrones who has a very successful
Gary
career.
Coleman? I don't know.
That's about it. Gary.
I mean, yeah, this guy was in Spaceballs, Baywatch, My Name is Earl, Family Matters, Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town.
Legend. Freaking legend.
I'm Googling Chopper Chicks and Zombie.
Dude, this is crazy. Somebody was talking about it. Basically, they all liked him and everything. His niece put out this awesome statement and said how it ended. He said, Ed loves 7-Eleven hot dogs with disgusting amounts of ketchup. he enjoyed reminiscing about his glory days DJing at the Plainwell roller rink. He hated Bill Maher for no good reason. She even says he cheated at cribbage. He was one hell of a laugh and will be missed. Rest in love, you cranky bastard. Yeah. That was his niece.
Damn.
I mean, the guy must have been a character.
How do you cheat at cribbage? It's math.
I don't know.
Hey, look, if there's a game, you could cheat at it.
And by the way, just so you know, before you laugh at Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town, Billy Bob Thornton was in it.
Whoa!
And I'm done.
I'm not shocked Billy Bob Thornton was in it.
Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Hikers on mushrooms eventually come to the realization that their friend is not, in fact, dead. To Miami, where a cop clings to the roof of a car before shooting the driver in the head. Delayed flight to Orlando made worse by kids singing Disney songs nonstop. An arsonist accidentally sets himself on fire, trying to burn down a shop. And a flight makes an emergency landing to save a dog in distress. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story. We go to Miami for the sitting for a dramatic video being shared online. Not much is known about how this situation came to fruition, but it merely shows a BMW driving into an intersection, making a left turn, with the police officer clinging to the hood and firing his weapon into the windshield at the driver.
Jeez, man.
The car quickly comes to a stop, and the wounded driver got out of the car to the waiting arms of officers. The video is being used in an investigation by the authorities who are looking into the shooting. The driver was taken to the hospital for their injuries.
Damn.
It's wild, dude. It looks like something out of like a Bruce Willis movie.
I was going to say, it's only in the movies that you see that.
Exactly. And it's kind of weird because when it's in the action movie, they're always kind of in street clothes or they got a cool cloak jacket on.
Yeah.
This guy's in his like reflective vest as he's doing it. It's like, but he's popping off shots, man. It's wild.
Damn.
In other news, we go to New York, where a couple hikers might have made a call too quickly. The trio made their way to New York's Adirondack Mountains and enjoyed a day out there in nature when tragedy struck.
Drugs.
The three managed to get lost in the wilderness, with one of their party eventually breaking off and perishing out on the mountain. That's about the time that the other two made the tough call to 911 to inform them of their situation and report that their friend had passed. But there's just one issue with all this. The other member of their party was totally fine. And I'm sure that the fact that the three of them were flying on mushrooms had nothing to do with them getting lost and believing that one of their party had died. They eventually made their way off the mountain and got some medical attention. Nobody was injured during the hike.
I love that.
Right.
He's dead, man.
Is he? Are you sure?
Wait, no, he's not. Sorry, my bad.
See, I was telling Ted during the break, like I've never done mushrooms, but this is the kind of crap that I'm afraid of with it. I feel like I get way too many doggone stories of people just having a bad time, and I'm a neurotic little man, so just not being in control of things, I feel like I would be set off too damn fast.
That's why it's fun.
Yes.
The free-for-all.
I can't let go, Miles. I don't like free-for-all.
Free-for-all.
I don't do well with free-for-all. I panic.
That's just a funny line. I don't do well with free-for-all.
That's right. I need organized. I need to know what we're doing, where we're going. Stay with the group.
Definitely, yeah. Like with alcohol, you're just kind of used to it. You know how much you're drinking, how much you're not. You're right. Once you ingest something like that, like it's in you.
Yeah.
You just got to see how it goes.
Hang on and enjoy the ride that the Rock's taking you on.
Yeah.
Up to Victoria, BC, where another video is making the rounds. Not much is known why they felt the need to do this, but a man busted into a local restaurant and bar, hiding his face from the cameras by which we get the video, and dousing the entire place with gasoline. He empties the entire can of gas, which it looked like it was like 1 to 2.5 gallons or something like that in that can, all over the bar, aimlessly splashing it all over the place. You guys already know where this is going. Before clumsily striking a match and setting himself on fire. While the execution was not exactly what he had planned, the police are still on the lookout for the suspect, actually asking for the public for any information that they might have on the man. Yes, he is. And the thing is, you watch this video, and if you've ever once in your life set a fire with gasoline, you know exactly what he's doing wrong. One, you don't need near that much gasoline to get it started. You do not need the entire damn can. And it's splashing all over the place. It's clearly getting all over him. He walks to the middle of it. Again, people...
The middle?
Yes. Yes. If you can hear my voice, understand something very true about gasoline. It is flammable, not the liquid, the vapor.
Right.
So standing in the middle of it, it is all those fumes. If you can smell it, it's near you, and it's going to combust. So just know that. It's not the liquid, it's the gas.
He found out.
He did. But just in case it starts with a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
While this is not the best news for nearly 200 people, I like the heartwarming nature of it. We take to the skies, where a Delta flight was the scene of some drama. The flight was bound from Detroit to Los Angeles and was about an hour into the flight when crews were made aware of someone on board not doing so well, a canine companion that someone had with them in the cabin. I tried to figure this out. It was like, were they underneath the plane in the storage compartment, or were they actually seated? They actually had a picture there. It's some like big snow dog that's on there. I thought it was maybe like a Chihuahua or a pug or something.
But it's up top, right?
Yes, it's up top.
Because I don't think you'd hear your dog below, man.
And it looked like they had clearly taken a seat away from something. Like they had bought an extra ticket because this dog is sitting up against the window.
I think it was a legitimate service animal for someone who needed a service animal.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
That's why they said, the hell with it, we're emergency landing.
Right.
Because this is like a $20,000 trained dog.
Yeah. The dog was suffering some sort of sickness, and a call was put out to the cabin on the long shot that there was a vet on board. By some miracle, there was. There was a damn vet on that plane. The vet looked after the dog, but ultimately alerted crews that the animal needed professional treatment. It was at that moment that the crew made the decision to make a 300-mile diversion to Minneapolis.
I bet you could jump on a plane, say anything, and you get a response. Is there an appliance salesman on the plane?
Right here.
Actually, yeah, man, I work for Whirlpool.
The plane landed and the dog was taken to a veterinary hospital. The flight ended up being only about 2.5 hours behind schedule, which I don't know how scheduling works when it comes to planes. However, 2.5 hours seems relatively quick turnaround.
It does for that, right?
They were happy to make the announcement, however, over the PA that the dog did make it to the vet and was on the way to recovery, doing just fine.
That's a lie. They just said that to make the passengers feel better.
At that point, don't you have to?
Yeah, what are you going to say?
You know the vet they took it to. You know the phone number. You're on the phone with that as a pilot. Don't worry, folks. Just talk to the vet.
Yeah, they're totally fine.
Yeah, at the St. Paul Veterinary Clinic.
Which, if you held me back for 2.5 hours, like, I need to know what happened to this dog.
That is very true. Everyone has a vested interest in that.
Right. That's going to make me not care near as much that I had to.
You're telling me I can call a plane.
Right.
At any time, because they made the announcement on the plane.
Yeah.
Dog's okay.
Well, you used to be able to call from a plane.
What I'm saying is, you get to the vet. The vet says things are going to be okay.
Yeah.
The pilot says, here's my number. I'm just going to call you and let you know, bro, everything's good with my dog.
Yeah.
That doesn't work that way.
Well, they probably called,
They
somebody
lied.
at the airport or something like that. I don't know. They figured out a way. Men's Room Sports, as Ted said, you got playoff basketball on TNT, playoff hockey over on ESPN, and the Mariners wrap up the series in the rubber match tonight over en route. I'm a little surprised that it wasn't a matinee game, but they're playing tonight here at home. Who's
going to score 9 tonight?
Exactly. We start up game 1, the Mariners win 9-1 against the Nationals. We win. Cool. Game 2, you're like, all right, we got this. They lose it 9-0. So honestly, I don't know how to call this one. I do not know how to call this one.
4-4 in extra innings.
As far as your weather, we got clear skies and a low of 47 tonight, paving the way for a picture-perfect, partly cloudy, and 76-degree day to welcome us in the weekend tomorrow, boys. That's it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
And next time it is the weekend, the return of Ted versus the FCC and a Bad Choice Friday.
Yes, indeed, it's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker with a website that fits your unique vision and drives you towards your goals. Let your ideas flow with AI tools that guide you, but give you full control and flexibility. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. Get everything you need to turn your part-time passion into a full-time business. Go to Wix.com.